going on, everybody? Welcome back to another wild and wacky episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. Boy, do we have a banger of a week lined up for you guys. What's going on?
We're just wild and wacky.
I just like to make things up. Boy, do we have a jam-packed episode for you. The ladies of Mom Talk continue to make their presence felt on the Viall Files. Today, we have Jessi and Mikayla. Boy, do they serve.
These bitches don't hold back.
Yeah.
I mean, they just cannot help but just like word vomit all tea constantly.
Even the show, watching the show, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make my little batches. I finished the whole thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, they are here. They have a lot to say. I'm actually shocked about the claim that it was Mikayla. Jessi confirmed it about how an idea that Demi had for the end of season 1 that was
just a
shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's producing.
There's producing, and then there's
craziness.
There's producing.
Yeah.
There's fully committed to the bit.
Yeah. I'm always pro somebody who's fully committed to the bit. So I know there's a lot to say going around, but in this single case scenario, I think the idea is definitely something worth pitching.
But there unfortunately are layers to the committing to this bit.
There
are.
are.
And there's...
I don't know if I approve of all the levels of pre-production that went into that bit that she committed to, but...
I don't even know if we're allowed to laugh. What is the internet saying over the weekend? Are they are they starting to take sides?
A lot of people are ranking the wives. I've seen that.
I see a lot of love for our girl Mikayla.
Yes, Mikayla's always 1 or 2.
A Star is Born
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she really found her voice.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Marciano's video that he posted?
I did not. There obviously is a lot of speculation about his involvement in this franchise. I think what we all agree on, and he seems to be kind of a loser, a little bit gross.
Yeah.
I mean, I think every wife has had a negative opinion of him, regardless of what Demi or Jessi or any of like the allegations or claims against him. They're all just like, yeah, he kind of sucks.
Yeah, but anyways, what was his video?
Well, he posted a video and he was at Swig and he was ranking the drinks that the girls made. And he said, why not try some of these girls? I mean, some of these girls' drinks. Like he was basically like saying how he feels about them through their drinks.
Gross.
So when he tried Jessi's drink, he said, definitely something that I'm used to and that I like. If I had another chance or opportunity to continue drinking this. And then he says, I could see myself drinking this in the future. He's talking about Jessi's Swig drink.
Yeah, he's gross.
But kind of talking about her. And then when he was drinking Demi's drink, he bleeps her name, first of all, in the video. And then he says, no, instantly regretting it. Wish I never took a sip of this one. And then he spits it out and does like a, ugh.
He sucks.
He does suck.
Yeah,
I think
he's just cringy. I was like, ugh, what is this?
I mean, he clearly is trying to get clout, and look at us giving it to him. So it is working in his favor, whether people like him or not.
And he's cringy on Vanderpump Villa. And I was kind of like, this guy? And then to have the season 2 storyline, I'm like, this guy? We're talking about this guy.
We only talked about Vanderpump Villa as it relates to Mormon Housewives. Did anything else go on? I mean, that season has come out. It's been out.
It's come and gone,
no
I
cares,
believe.
right? Do they, other than Mormon Wives?
I mean, I did, but that's just because my queen Stassi was back on reality television, so I very much enjoyed her.
How did you? It's been 2 seasons.
It's been 2 seasons.
No one gives a shit.
I didn't finish it.
I didn't like it.
I haven't seen the season finale. I don't know who got the $30,000.
Sarah can watch and finish just about anything. I don't know what that says about Vanderpump Villa if she can't get through it.
Yeah,
I'm on like episode 8, 9.
What if there were human remains that were found close to Vanderpump Villa? Would we
then
start
I would
watching
watch
more?
Poor Taylor Swift. Poor Taylor Swift. She wakes up on a sunny Tuesday morning. When did this come out?
She just constantly catches grenades and shrapnel from.
I mean,
they just
love to throw her name.
Yeah.
They just add it in the mix. It's like there was. What's the story of human remains were found just like near her house
less
in Rhode Island?
Less than a mile away from where she lives.
It's like we didn't need to include her name.
I bet a lot of people.
A lot of other people live
there. Yeah.
Right.
Less than a mile.
It's crazy, but
I bet there was someone else who lived closer than Taylor Swift.
It was actually in their backyard.
Probably somebody who lives there in that very house.
Perry. I'm just kidding. I feel like she's gonna write a banger song about it though.
Taylor?
Yeah.
Like
called
a
Over My
mystery
Dead
song?
Body.
Over my, they found
Bones
the
in my
bodies.
backyard.
They found the bodies near my house, but all I was thinking about was your body against my body. And
No.
Someone mute her
Yeah.
immediately. Cut her mic
No,
off.
I don't know. I think it'd be a
Body.
banger.
Taylor's constantly catching shrapnel, even from Justin Baldoni's lawyer, who last week tried to make some claim that, according to a trusted source, he heard a rumor that allegedly Blake threatened Taylor with releasing all of these public text messages. A judge has stricken that down
Frickin'.
and basically said, stop your shenanigans and tomfoolery when it comes to this case. And I think even threatened sanctions against
Yeah.
the judge.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the Justin sycophants and super fans are like, oh, well, the lawyer, he signed a sworn affidavit, so he must be telling the truth. Well, all he's telling, like the sworn affidavit that there is a trusted source, like that he has a source that he thinks he can trust, and someone's willing to say this. That's all he's saying. So that could be literally anyone. It could be his dog. His dog could be the one being like,
He's like, he's my best friend.
yeah. I heard that Taylor Swift and Blake Lively, like she was gonna, like, that's all it is. It's just like it's a source of a rumor.
I mean, didn't Blake's team also come out and be like, that's just like not true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then more importantly, because like obviously Blake's
Back
team's
and forth. Sure,
Blake's team's gonna Blake's team, but like the judge is like, stop this shit out. He's finally seems to be putting a stop to it. But not after all the ridiculous headlines of that made it seem like it was a fact.
Right.
Yeah.
The damage is done now.
But damn it,
Listen, they get what they want real quick, that team. They work hard and they work fast.
I said, I'll take the slap on the wrist. I'm so sorry, Judge.
I mean, they continue to try to bully and win this case in the court of public opinion. Anything new with Karen Reed going on? Speaking of trying to win the case in public opinion.
Let me see. I honestly have not had a moment to keep up, which is really hurtful for my soul. But what I do know that happened is that Brian Higgins, who was like texting with Karen Reed, had a little something going on.
Well, Karen
never
was texting Brian Higgins.
Well, they were texting
I'm
each
just saying
other.
Karen's
He was
already-
responding, so she wasn't texting herself. He
No,
was
no,
definitely
yeah.
responding to her. So
Yeah.
he was texting her. And the night of the murder,
Yeah.
the night that John O'Keefe died,
Yeah.
he didn't tell any police or anyone else that he went back to work at like 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
He went back to the police station
Yep.
with a duffel bag, did some things.
Uh-oh.
Didn't tell anyone he did those things. When they asked when the next time he went to work, he was like, "Oh, like Monday morning, dude. Like just like normal work day." And like he had like done some sketchy stuff in the police station,
Like what?
and he didn't tell anyone. That's just like the last thing that's sticking in my mind from what I've seen on TikTok.
Yes, of course.
But that was like the last like stuff I paid attention to. Still ongoing.
Yeah, listen.
Still
I think she will be acquitted. I think every time I text Emily Baker, our unofficial legal correspondent, who I really respect, very much tries to be the legal correspondent that she is, and stick to the facts,
Yes.
not the opinions. But I'm always like, first when I was made aware of the case by my dear wife, I was like, oh my God, Karen Reed is innocent. I'm texting this to Emily, and Emily always responds back with like a non-opinion, but like also something about the case. But then I text Emily a couple of days later and be like, I think she's guilty now, but I think she's going to get off. And her response was simply, prosecution is a mess, which I believe is kind of her agreeing with me that like she might get acquitted just because the prosecution doesn't seem to be doing their job appropriately.
The prosecution is definitely a mess,
Yeah.
for sure. We also tried to watch Tangled this past weekend.
Funny.
With River, and Nick the whole time was just like, God, her hair is probably so gross. Like it's on the ground. It's probably really heavy. It's just like, imagine how nasty it is.
The
I'm
live
like,
action of Tangled is disgusting. Imagine that, just like
But it's
15
magic.
years of is it though?
He's like, have
That's
you
like
seen
the
her
whole
wash
thing
it
with
yet?
Tangled.
Could you imagine it would be like a mop
But it
across
heals.
the floor.
This is Nick. While me and River are trying to enjoy a Tangled, he's like, God, it's probably just really dirty. Like, look how much it's dragging.
Well,
It's just-
first
it's
off-
it's out the tower. It's pulling up her mom. It's wrapped
Her
around
mom's
the
shoes.
tree. Yeah, her mom's shoe, and God knows where her shoes have been.
I didn't really understand the plot of Tangled.
Well, first,
Rapunzel?
it's a cartoon,
Sounds
so
like
it's
you were a little
fine.
distracted.
First of all, why aren't we calling it Rapunzel?
Because it's just
Because her hair is really tangly.
Yeah.
No, that
It's a
part-
tangled web of an
I
adventure.
don't know. I feel like you're disrespecting
magic?
Mandy more
Why is it
by
magic?
saying this.
You
Her
watched
hair's
the
magic.
movie.
Her hair is That's the
no,
plot
that's
of the
exactly.
movie.
He was too focused on the hair being dirty that he didn't understand that the flower was like.
She was a
She was like
baby.
gonna die, and then they gave her the
The mom.
flower. But then if she like cut her hair, then she wouldn't have the magic anymore, and no one knew what would happen to her.
Which
so
is
it
why
was,
Mother Gothel kidnapped her.
and keeps her in the
because
tower.
she was gonna
She's
grow
a real
old.
bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that lady is not
That
nice.
Mother Knows Best song.
Banger.
Oh, it's so good, but it's
Banger.
like trauma.
God, I love Mandy Moore.
She's like closing all the curtains. She's like, Mother knows best.
It's a funny show. It's a funny,
funny show.
funny
Did River
program.
like
Funny
it?
show.
It's definitely more for the two of us. She's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
not paying attention
It's a
whatsoever.
little too much going on.
Try the Hunchback of Notre Dame. That really.
It's really sad.
I think if they're gonna make any live action remake, I would say do the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Hmm.
Make it a better movie.
I also tried to show her Emperor's New Groove. Not interested in that one either.
That
And then
one's
while I'm
so
watching it back, I'm like,
good.
you know, it is kind of slow. Like we do need, like River needs the
Give us
birds
we
and
need a
the
song.
animals and the songs. and like we have to narrate when we're watching with River. We have to be like, oh my god, the squirrels! Wait, look at the birds! Caw caw! Like we have to like keep her interested, or she is in the other room.
Llama's not doing it for me.
No, llamas were not doing it for her.
Oh my god, Emperor's New Groove rocks so hard.
Speaking of moms and daughters, did you guys see that Sammy Sheen calls her sister Lola out for lying in a TikTok video and slamming her for not getting Denise Richards a Mother's Day gift?
This is the craziest TikTok I've ever seen,
This
and I
is
just
so
like
funny.
happened to scroll through.
I
it
just
on
wish
my
she
For You
actually
page.
slammed her like
Body
WWE
slam.
WWE style.
Yeah.
It kind of honestly, she could have.
It was verbal.
It was a verbal slam.
It was verbal, and it was definitely unnecessary.
When she first started, though, I was like, ooh, who's the T? What's the T? Like, and then she was just like, yeah. And I was in that photo too. And I was like, oh, okay, I am sad. And then she's like, and just so you know, she's not that great of a person. She actually didn't get our mom anything. And I made the reservation. I was like, I
What
don't
did-
know
what
why
did she
I'm
get her?
invested in this.
What did Sammy get her?
She made the reservation.
That's not a gift.
I paid for
know.
everyone's food. Lola said she was going to split the bill with me, and she didn't. I got my mom 2 things of flowers and a bunch of shit from Barefoot Dreams and a very nice candle and a card, and Lola couldn't even get her flowers. Isn't that crazy? But all the comments on that post were saying that she is so nice. Okay.
How? But like,
This is awesome.
Sammy's got that OnlyFans money. Where's Lola? Yeah.
Well,
She was a host at that restaurant. I don't, or maybe she's at an ice cream shop. Or
I mean, I
something.
think it's great to have Jesus as your best friend, but he ain't like giving you cash.
He's definitely not paying your bills, baby.
You know?
That was really funny.
I will say though, you know how there's always that one kid of the group that like is the one who is organizing the group gift for the parent?
Yeah.
That
And then
is
there's
not
the
me,
one.
But are any of you guys that person in your family?
It was
Uh,
always my oldest sister.
It was only my sister when she was trying to scam us, when she was like worked for like some kind of,
Mary
one of her
Kay.
many pyramid schemes or
Mary
whatever.
Kay.
And it was like trying to be like, mom needs makeup. And then she would sell us the makeup and take the profits.
Yeah.
working towards that Lexus.
Yeah.
That was
Oh
Yeah.
my
How about
God.
my brother texted the family group chat? Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Love you so much. That was it.
What?
In the family group chat. Nothing for me. Didn't hear from him once. And like, you could have texted her personally. I didn't need to see that.
Also, your sisters.
No,
Also
literally.
mothers.
What I love about that is I fully understood everything about his thought process, which was simply like, I need to text my mom. This is the group chat. She's in this group chat. Good.
Great.
Do it done.
Done.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I do have to say in Lola's defense, though, that she did post a photo of like the flowers and the card that she did get her mom. So she said, I did actually. I don't know why my sister decided to bring this to social media. I don't know either.
You know, Lola was like, what the heck is going on?
I didn't
Sammy.
That's exact- Well, Sonja Morgan in restaurants just do not mix.
No.
Mm-mm.
She's
Wow.
struggling.
I
She's
don't-
having some time.
Something's
with,
going on.
She's having some issues with the
Is she-
restaurateurs
Is
these
she
days.
drinking before she's eating?
Well, I mean, Sonja Morgan is,
it is Sonja Morgan.
notorious for having a great time when she goes out.
Or
But
before she goes out.
I'm still kind of confused by the story because she allegedly is out to dinner and then an elderly patron at a restaurant was dining who appeared to be in distress. So-
Like, what was the elderly
Who knows? She
person
fell.
doing? Oh, she fell.
I don't know. There was distress.
Fell.
There was
So
distress.
apparently Sonja called the 911, but then ended up being on the
stretcher,
ambulance. Like,
yeah.
What if she just like felt so connected to this old elderly woman and she was like, she has no one to go with her to the hospital. I'll go with her
Empathy.
on the stretcher.
Maybe Sonja Morgan just has empathy.
Like maybe that was
She's
it.
an empath.
Yeah.
It appears that she made a medical call to the restaurant. Officers responded. They issued a written trespass warning to Sonja Morgan at the request of the Breakers Hotel, the owner of Echo, the restaurant that they were at. So she must have been acting up or something. Morgan refused to sign the warning, but police were unable to corroborate that report. I didn't want to leave. I insisted on making sure she was cared for. Morgan tells people about the elderly woman.
Wait, so
all I'm
elderly
hearing is
woman,
saint.
elderly woman
That's what I'm
falls.
hearing.
Elderly woman falls. Sonja comes to help. Restaurant's mad at Sonja. They file trespass, not allowed to come.
Wait, where?
She
wait,
says,
this is
no,
the-
no, no.
Is this the
I'm
same
trying
restaurant?
to
They're
help.
like
No.
different restaurant.
This is in Florida.
Why is she being accused of trespassing at a restaurant that's open?
They issued a written trespass warning. So I'm wondering if maybe
They
like they
wrote
were
it down?
On like a bar
Yeah.
napkin.
the police.
This seems-
the police issued it.
Let's
This
make this
seems
shit official.
Very Florida restaurant.
But what's confusing
To
is that
me.
it says Morgan refused to sign that warning. So I guess you have an option
No
when
shit.
a police officer gives you a trespass warning from the hotel restaurant.
She's trying to save a life.
She's
Yeah.
in the middle of work
But
right
again,
now.
She's a hero.
This is a public establishment that welcomes people
Mhm.
when they're open. Lots of people. But they don't want her?
I
Rude.
And they want to but why?
I need them
Pourquoi?
I need them to release a statement.
I saw the video of her being like on the gurney out, and she's clearly like actively speaking, so she's not in any type of
She's on a gurney
harm. Yeah, but
yelling at people?
it says
Where's the elderly lady?
Where's this video?
I don't know. Florida has
lady
a really
wasn't
hard time with
taken.
divas.
it was just Sonja. Sonja made the call and somehow ended up on the gurney going into the ambulance.
Diva
Sleepaway
down.
Justin is bringing up this video. I have this vision in my head. I hope. Oh my-
This is the first one.
Is that Sonja?
That's Sonja on the gurney.
That guy in the background looks so over this.
she
I-
crying?
And then
No, she was just
I
like,
heard giggling in the
this
background.
is the picture of her on the gurney.
Yeah, just chilling. And this is after she called the 911 to
for
help
medical
someone else.
assistance for someone else.
She said, "Oh, she's fine. Actually, let me take a little ride."
Somewhere it said that she like sustained minor injuries and that they wanted to check her out, but I'm just like, I feel like that's like
That's a hefty bill, Sonja.
Yeah.
Just to get checked out, I will say.
Well, wishing her the best.
thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers.
Getting into some secret lives of Mormon wives, the women are continuing to beef online. Jessi called out Demi on Instagram, and after they disrespected her in what I'm guessing was our interview, because we did have Brett and Demi together. And Jessi says, a 47-year-old washed up loser who can't hold a job and asked my husband and I for 10 grand just a few months ago so he could pay his bills is like,
What does Brett do for work?
I
I
don't know.
I know he was on Claire Crawley's
He was on
season
The
of The
Bachelor.
Bachelor, and
Well,
was he a
that's-
football player?
that's not a job
That's not-
occupation.
That's not work.
He
No,
didn't
I
get
think
paid
he's
for
trying
that.
to be on reality TV.
And that's awesome, but I am just curious what he's been up to. Should have asked, I guess. I mean,
Well, we didn't know that.
He's a managing partner at Armstrong Consulting Group.
Oh.
As per his official LinkedIn page.
that sounds like a real job. I mean,
Yeah.
Consulting.
Well, that was in June of 2022.
2022.
He's freelance, maybe.
well, managing
Well, maybe
partner
he's been
means
there
he
since.
has some kind of equity or in this company. It could be. nothing.
I don't
Well, he was-
imagine Demi with a scrub, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they don't look like they live poor.
Yeah.
Jessi is like not afraid to call him out and say, I mean, if that's true, which that's a strange thing to lie about because I feel like maybe there would be receipts of that, maybe not, but
Not
I don't know.
necessarily. This was a
But
phone
like
call.
to be like, hey, he needs money from us, and then like now,
That's a bold thing to ask your alleged co-stars for money, the same people that allegedly, and Jessi does get into, I know it's on episodes somewhere 4, 5, and 6. I don't know. We get into it this episode, but the whole conversation about like what went down before seasons 1 and season 2 in terms of their contract negotiations. Jessi breaks it down in great detail shortly when Mikayla and Jessi make their appearance in this episode. But wouldn't it be it's like that's the same people he went to and asked for money?
I mean, what I learned in this season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is that Jessi's a millionaire and she's sitting on a hair empire.
Yeah.
Like they use the M word.
They did.
Yeah.
The M word, millionaire.
Oh, I thought you were going to say mogul.
I mean,
Millionaire
use
mogul.
that, but that we could throw that in there.
Okay.
For sure. Well, they do have a new intro to the show. It is very iconic. I saw Taylor Frankie Paul's little BTS she posted. Iconic. So good. Jessi and Layla don't get their hair wet, which I feel like if I'm production, I'm fighting them on that. I'm saying, listen, I see the vision at the end. You want to get your hair wet. Don't be the only two that don't.
Jessi sent a video.
She's
Jessi
already
sent the video.
She's so
I do
good.
have it.
All right.
We have her response.
Well, because when we interviewed Jessi and Mikayla, there was so much. Honestly, we went in with so many questions. We didn't even get to most of them because they were just serving up, and then, and this, and oh, by the way, and,
Yeah.
oh my God,
I wasn't even on the docket. Okay.
okay.
So we've asked Jessi to respond to this question on why she did not get her hair wet in the intro, and she has sent us
A
response.
So should we play it now?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, I was just as surprised to see that Layla and I had dry hair in the intro because we all got wet. I was actually the very first one to film our intro, and I was like the guinea pig. So I was like getting my hair in there, flipping it around. I actually have so many videos of having wet hair. And if you look at the poster, we all had wet hair. So I don't know, it's kind of funny because everyone's like, they're just divas and they didn't want to get their hair wet. Trust me, if that was the case, they would have just been like, sorry, you're getting your hair wet. We don't have that kind of say.
I thought.
So yeah, I did get my hair wet, but maybe I just looked so stunning gorgeous with dry hair.
Literally.
They had to like leave it that way.
Literally,
Totally
Jessi.
kidding. But no, we definitely had to do some work. Layla, it was actually really funny because her hair's naturally curly, and they were nervous that if she got her hair wet, her extensions would be just kind of wavy and wet and her own hair would curl up. And so we had to get like lube and lube her hair down. That's like a little hairstylist trick, and put lube in it to make it look wet instead of getting it actually wet. And then they got her extensions wet. So little BTS, but maybe it just didn't look as good as they were wanting. And that's why they kept us both dry. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to ask and find out because I was curious about that too.
Okay. Well,
It's
There's
funny
our
that
answer.
it's funny that she says that because I thought about that on the poster. I was like, wait, all of their hair is wet. So I wonder if they were like, no, girls, it's fine. We'll go in and post and give you wet hair. And I was like, but how did they do that?
They lubed her up.
Jessi, thank you for coming through this morning and picking up for what we failed to do when you
Yeah.
first showed up and asked that question. I'm glad we were able to get it.
Me too, because I also was like, these bitches just didn't want to get their extensions wet because I've had extensions once or twice in my life before. And I know how much of a bitch it is to like, once you get them wet and like the whole drying process. And I was like, listen, honestly, I get it. But I am shocked that production wasn't like, girls, trust, get them wet. And they did. So that's so strange that they didn't use. Why would they make the two of them?
That is
Weird production choice.
It's a weird
right?
choice.
Yeah.
Do you think someone accidentally like deleted the footage of like the wet shots?
They were like,
Mm.
oh
It
God.
kind of almost like there's just no real good explanation for why they wouldn't do that.
Or like it wasn't in focus
weren't
or
rolling
something.
that whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they were like, let's create some discourse.
The
around
person, yeah, the
this.
person in charge of the
It'll create
intro is
questions.
like kind of pissed at Jessi and Layla.
Well, I told you we have a jammed-packed episode for you today because coming up next, Chloe Veitch is with us, who's hosting a new Netflix show, Sneaky Links, a show about maybe falling in love with the person you don't want anyone to know you're having sex with. So I'm not sure how that all is going to work out.
It's a crazy concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I see the vision, you know what I'm saying? But like,
I don't see it executing.
they don't want people to know they're having sex with them.
I want to know how they got them there. It's like, did they go out to the person that's hiding them and be like, you're on a new dating show. We're not going to tell you who, what, when, but when you get there, surprise!
Anyways,
It's me.
I want to know, could you potentially sneaky link with someone else's sneaky link?
I don't know.
On
We'll have to
Sneaky Link?
ask Chloe Veitch.
We'll have to ask Chloe who is up next. And then after Chloe, we'll break down a summer house breakup heard around the world between Lexi and Jessi, get into Mormon Wives, and then the interview, certainly many of you have been tuning in for, with Jessi and Mikayla. But coming up next, Chloe Veitch. The show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Mental health awareness is growing, but there's still progress to be made. 26% of Americans who participated in a recent survey say they have avoided seeking mental health support due to a fear of judgment. Many of you listening have thought, considered therapy. Maybe some of you have tried it, but didn't really necessarily love the first experience. Maybe you thought it was a little too expensive. Maybe it was too inconvenient. Maybe you just didn't love the first therapist that you connected with. Well, BetterHelp is here to help you try it again or try it for the first time, because all of those obstacles that are obviously understandable when it comes to seeking mental health help, BetterHelp helps with. They are working with literally over 30,000 licensed therapists to help ensure that you can connect with a therapist that is right for you. They will assign a therapist based off of questions that you answer and needs that you have. But if you're not absolutely in love with how you are connecting with your therapist, no problem. You can switch therapists every time for free until you land on someone that you feel good about.
BetterHelp is also fully online, so it doesn't matter if you want to do it from your phone, if you want to do it from your tablet, if you want to do it from the car, you can do it from literally anywhere. BetterHelp truly is there to help you with so many options to make you feel as comfortable as possible. This is Mental Health Awareness Month, so let's encourage everyone to take care of their well-being and break the stigma. The world is better when people are healthy and happy.
We're all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/VIALL today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/VIALL.
One day it's cool. The next, I'm sweating through my clothes. Is it early menopause? We don't know, but I did realize it is time to switch things up, and Quince has exactly what I'm looking for. Lighter layers, better fabrics, and prices that don't make you think twice. I have been raving about Quince for some time now. Truly, they have some really amazing pieces. I've been so over fast fashion. I've been really into just investing in good quality pieces, and that is what Quince is all about. And all of their items are priced 50 to 80% less than what you'd find at similar brands. Quince has all of the things that you would actually wear, like organic cotton silk polos, European linen beach shorts, comfortable pants that work for everything from backyard hangs to nice dinners. They have a really amazing linen line, linen dresses, linen shirts, linen skirts, linen pants. It's summer. Put on linen. It's the most breathable outfit ever. And get it from Quince because it is so affordable. Elevate your closet with Quince. Go to quince.com/VIALL for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/VIALL to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/VIALL.
Chloe, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Nick.
So great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
We're
again.
very excited about the new show on Netflix you're hosting.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Sneaky Links.
We can. Sneaky Links. Help us, for the people who may not know what a sneaky link is.
Yeah.
First, help us understand what that is.
Okay.
And then explain us, we're the only concern we have is how are people who don't want people to know that they're hooking up with someone? What are the possibilities they're going to want to do it on TV?
Okay. So I can't physically give any spoilers, but I'm going to spoil it right now.
Perfect. Yes.
They do. They hook up, even if there's cameras. They love sneaking. So the definition of a sneaky link for me, the easiest way I can explain it was and is, when you don't want anyone to know that you're in a relationship with someone or that you're hooking up with someone. It could be a 6-month period of you've had sex with them a couple times, or it could be a 10-year period of there's a couple on the show that was sneaky linking for 10 years. And
why were they sneaky
because
linking?
of the lack of boundaries. He didn't want to be with her. And she's very much like, okay, well, I'm just going to continue this because it's easy to do it. And I think as women, it's so easy to fall into something like that. They would crawl from room, because it's in a motel.
Okay.
So they're in each other's, they're in their own rooms. And then they'd come out and they'd sneak away from their sneaky links and go meet up with other people in the motel and crawl across, army crawl style.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And we're going to see it.
You're going to see all of it.
And were you helping facilitate these hookups?
I mean, my job as the host was just to be there as the big sister.
Okay.
If he hurts you or upsets you, babe, come here.
Yeah.
I'm literally a veteran at dating shows at this point. I understand your struggle. I understand your pain. Come cry on my shoulder. It wasn't my job to direct what they should do if that was to happen. Because there's no way I would get sued. It would be a HR issue because all the guys were really, really hot.
All the guys were hot.
All of the guys, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you find yourself being should I go into room AC really quick?
Funny you say that because
Chloe's army crawling.
it's me.
Yeah, you're like, there's a lot of women army crawling. I don't know what they're doing, but it was really crazy.
Is that Chloe?
Yeah.
Wow.
Why is she wearing a blonde wig?
It was very hard for me to transition mentally, like on set, from talent to host. Because
so funny.
I've literally been talent for so long, and now I'm like, oh no, they look to me now, and I need to tell them what to do. Fuck.
You're like, babe, and I would fuck him, and I would fuck him, and I would. That's what I would do. You know.
I love you. We need to be friends. Yeah.
That's what you tell him.
There was a couple times I said to some of the executives, would it be like a violation if I was to like, obviously if they ended up with no one at the end, if I was to get their number?
Yeah, it's like a power dynamic there.
And they were like,
am I-
probably couldn't do that, Chloe. And I'm like, just double check
You're like,
it.
how about a
You
follow-up
know?
DM?
If
Is
they
that
slid into my
allowed, or-
DMs,
I can
Like, you don't
respond.
think that, but could you
Answer.
just go ahead and actually ask the lawyers
Yeah.
Yeah.
and make sure I can't?
Yeah.
Because if I can, I'm going to.
If it's not in writing,
Yeah.
Mm.
I can do what I want.
Where did Sneaky Links film?
So they filmed it in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Oh, okay.
Boiling. I actually had heat exhaustion one of the days.
Oh, God bless.
Yeah, it was it was a lot.
It's a desert.
God bless Arizona.
And God bless.
Do we have a preview of this, a
Yeah,
trailer?
let's play a trailer.
Can we play a trailer? When's it come out?
The 21st of May.
Oh, wow.
Comes out tomorrow, guys.
Yeah.
Comes out tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh, my God.
All right, let's check out the trailer of Sneaky Links.
I am so ready to be in love.
I'm ready for something real.
I'm moving out of my whole phase.
I'm trying to find true love.
What is he doing here?
What's up, people? It was a high school thing.
I thought I was gonna see a whole new set of singles. You have been brought here with the person that you
The tits
love
look great, don't
having
they?
casual sex with, aka your sneaky link. This is gonna get messy for sure and quick.
Getting closer,
I'm helping you explore your sneaky link relationship in a deeper way. But it's okay for you to explore other connections if you're curious.
This is a disaster.
Recipe for disaster.
Would you like to come over?
Holy smokes.
They're all hot.
Smoking.
He's giving me zero attention. If he won't, someone else will.
Dang, she's actually kind of cute.
Kelsey didn't only step on my toes, she came for my neck.
I came in with some habits that I needed to break.
Some of you have made crazy progress, and I can see that there are romantic sparks flying.
I kind of want Cole. I'm not here to make friends.
Oh, we are in trouble.
Yes. Wait, I can already see like the people who have been sneaky linking for a while. They go here, they imagine to like continue to sneaky link, and then their guy is like off with another girl. I'm pissed.
Yeah, no, literally.
A couple questions after seeing that. One, are any of the men the ones who wish they could be in a relationship that are being hidden? Is it?
Yeah.
They are. There
Yeah.
are some men. There are some sad boys.
And I think that's why I was so intrigued, because I haven't seen it from that side. I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be the women
Yeah.
that are like, I want you to marry me, like the ultimatum.
I said 50-50
Love is blind.
out there in the wild. How many sexual partners did the person who have the most sex have on the show? Like, I don't mean coming into the show. I mean filming the show. Like, how many?
Like they bounced around.
Yeah. What was the most sexual partners one person had?
I think 3.
Wow.
Weird.
Question for the casting process, like how did they get their sneaky link, or like how did they get the person that was hiding them to come on the show?
So I was worried about this.
Yeah.
And I feel like from an audience perspective, it's always like, well, how did they not know? This is lies. Like what? Like Too Hot to Handle after the first season, you're going to know it's Too Hot to Handle. I went on X on the Beach MTV. And before that, I kind of knew already what exes were coming on, because I would call them and be like, oh, by the way, I'm going on the show.
Hey, what are you doing in a month?
Yeah, literally. So I was worried about that because I thought I want it to be natural, whatever. But the casting process took a year.
Really? Okay.
So they were constantly like, because I even spoke to them just to understand how it worked, but they picked 5 or 6 sneaky links from each person they wanted to be an original on the show. And then they would vet them for months and months. And then it would be like so carefully curated that none of them actually knew. It was like genuine shock and surprise. Some of them didn't even want to continue filming. It was like, I do not want this. I did not come here for this.
When their sneaky link showed up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I like
because
that.
they've been you can know that because they've been terrible to that person.
Well, it's not an ex.
I did not sign up to get exposed.
Did any of them have like relationships and they were like cheating on that relationship with this sneaky link and maybe that relationship ended or something? Like, was there any of that kind of canoodling going on?
I don't think necessarily that exact scenario, but the morals, the values, the boundaries, and everything in between, everything's blurred.
From your perspective, how many of the people who didn't want to date their sneaky link didn't want to date them because they didn't perceive them to be their physical match or equal?
Quite a few of them. Yeah.
That maybe the number one reason, do you think, from your perspective?
That was very hard to watch because no one wants, listen, exes and sneaky links, completely different.
Yeah.
An ex is someone that you've introduced to your family. You've gone out into the wild with them. You've posted them on social media. And then all of a sudden, it's like sneaky links. You don't want anyone to see them. It's like, there's a reason you don't want the world to know that you're together.
Right.
So, yeah, it does
so
get...
messy.
I cried multiple times on the show. Yeah, because it's hard. Because as a woman, it's like, and especially as a guy as well, but I've got a vagina. So as a woman, I've been through, it's so relatable because I've been through every single fucking scenario that's on the show.
You want to be like, come here, it's okay.
Please,
Will
just leave
we
him.
learn anything from watching the show, or is it just a fun, hot, messy mess?
I wouldn't have gone on the show as a host if it wasn't adding some value to like relationships as a whole. Because otherwise I would literally just break boundaries and do whatever I wanted to do. But
You would have joined the cast.
yeah, I literally would have joined the cast. Spicy Murray is the relationship expert. So she is someone who has a method. So she brings people on the show with me and she sits down and we have this like link lowdown at the end of the episodes. And she like rips them a new butthole. She's like, this is what you're doing wrong. You're breaking boundaries. You're pressing her buttons. This is toxic. This is what you need to change. This is what you need to do. So yeah, you do learn.
Oh, some growth. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so
growth in all areas.
Did you watch Temptation Island?
Yes. And I watched the whole of your reunion episode.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think? How do you think this compares to that? Because that was a massive smash hit, particularly around the messiness.
Yeah, I think two completely separate shows, two completely different shows. The same kind of blueprint in dating, but Temptation Island, oh my God, I loved it. I binge watched it in, I think, less than 2 days. I didn't sleep.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I loved it, but I was angry.
Yeah.
Whilst watching it. I'm like,
What made you the angriest?
Rhythmic water slapping.
Literally.
That'll get you.
That'll get you every time.
Yeah. Him in the shower and they didn't have the camera for the threesome and all it said was rhythmic water slapping.
oh,
at the bottom.
really?
Yeah.
All I heard was the birds chirping.
'Cause
Oh
they came
no,
out at
the
6
sun's come
a.m.
out.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then they're all like, all right, bye.
Yeah. Yeah, no, literally. But I think with that show, the pain point was, oh, if this was my boyfriend, I would be fuming. Whereas with Sneaky Links, the pain point is, oh my God, this is what I do in the outside world and this is why I haven't found love yet.
Right.
So like there's
do you think
different...
it's a bit of a mirror for people watching?
Yeah, there's
on
different
it?
pain points in different shows.
What did you think about yourself after hosting this show? Have you ever been a sneaky link or sneaky linked?
Yeah. I mean, I've been a sneaky link. No, I've never been the sneaky link, I don't think.
No one's been embarrassed
trying
of
to
you.
be humble.
Never hide Chloe Veitch, people.
You'd be surprised.
There's no way.
You'd be surprised.
They're all like, we're dating. She's like, God, no, please, please.
No, I'm
don't say
not.
it."
Please. No, hide behind the plant.
Yeah.
So you've hidden a boy before?
Yeah.
Why?
And a woman. When I first was like, I think I'm bi, it was a sneaky linky relationship. It lasted a year.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah. But I learned a lot from that because now I understand that I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, sneaky linking, it's not the way forward.
Was it hard to host this kind of show? Like, did you find yourself kind of picking and choosing your favorites?
Yeah, I mean, a few people did grow on me on the show. Only from like a storyline perspective though, because when you're like, I respect someone's craft.
And by craft, you mean how they're able to manipulate?
I think the way that they're able to direct themselves in a narrative of, okay, I know that the show is about sneaky links and growth. And I feel like some of the men did have a lot of growth. A couple didn't, you know?
Yeah.
Which one did you want to have sex with?
Again,
I feel like
HR.
HR
No, like-
profession, you know,
In your head, not in reality.
I think everyone would want to have sex with the same person. So you watch it, you would probably want to have sex with the same person that I do.
We'll
Was
guess.
he the toxic one or the one who learned?
He's the toxic one, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm in therapy.
Yeah, thank God.
Okay, I'm in
Thank
therapy.
God.
And because of this show, I want to go to college.
Really?
Say more. What do you
I want to study
like the hosting
Sparked
thing,
an
not for me.
education.
Like,
I'm like,
TV, no more.
no more TV. I'll be in your doctor's office. I'll see you in Jalemba.
so what do you want to go to school for?
I want to study like psychology.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It
Because
made
if I
you want to
host
learn the brain of
Yeah.
the toxicity.
the difference between sociopaths, psychopaths, narcissism, gaslighting. I know that the last time we had a conversation about that when I was on the podcast. You were like,
did I?
gaslighting is such an overly used term.
It is.
Buzzword.
It frustrates him. I love it.
Yeah,
Every
very
time I bring
Well,
it
I just
up.
don't like it when people water down the meaning of meaningful words.
Yeah.
You know, because they do exist. And not everyone who made you mad is a narcissist.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think I'm starting to learn that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, he's probably not textbook.
Selfish? Possibly.
Yeah.
For sure.
Just a terrible person,
For you.
but not for everyone else.
Who knows?
Because I'm biased.
His mom might think he's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Growth.
What else have you been up to?
What have I been up to? I literally moved to America.
Oh my God.
I live here
Huge.
now.
Welcome.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you. Have my O1 visa. You can't get rid of me for 3 years now.
Well, thank God.
I have been learning the ropes of America and dating and finding my feet.
Have you
and-
found yourself at a Raising Cane's?
Oh yeah, every Wednesday.
Perfect.
Yeah. What is the biggest difference dating in America versus dating in the UK?
I feel like men in America are very straightforward in the beginning. They're like, "Oh, I love you. Like you're so good looking. Like, oh, I'm going to treat you like a queen. I'm a gentleman that you've always needed." And then a month down the line, you're like, "He's not called me in 2 days. What's going on?" So I think the men in the UK are very hard to get, but the men in America are very easily, they approach you quicker.
Is that called love bombing?
Nick's like, stop using
Sorry
those
about
words."
your buzzwords, but they're like, you're everything. I want to put you on a pedestal. I love you so much. But
and then go.
If you're saying I love you
gotta
with
be.
the intent to get laid, and you don't, and,
Mhm.
you know, yeah, kind of, yeah.
Or can you fall in love and fall out of love that quickly?
Well, I think there are people who just get excited and are emotionally immature, and they actually maybe think they're in love,
Yeah.
and then like a week later, they're like, oh, I guess I just want to have sex with you.
What is the most American thing you've been doing since you've been here?
The most American thing, driving on the opposite side of the road.
Mm.
Bloody hell.
Mm.
The first 6 months I was petrified.
You swerving into ongoing traffic.
I was
Yeah,
getting,
all of y'all are wrong. I gotta be
I
over
was
here.
getting in the wrong side of the car every time. My
But
friends are
it's
like, what are you doing?
You guys in what, Libya? There's like yeah.
Libya or labia?
There's an African country, I believe, that drives on the wrong side of the
Majora
road.
or Menorah?
That's what I'm like, wait.
What's menorah?
But you guys are the odd man out.
The inner, I believe. Labia minora, I believe, is the inner, and labia
country.
majora is that. Oh well, or your vagina.
I thought we were talking about countries.
Oh, I
We thought you
we
segued
were.
into vaginas.
Nick said Libya, and you said labia.
Because there's okay, right, I get the connect now.
Is it really only Australia in?
I don't even think it's Australia.
I don't think Australia drives on it.
Oh,
No.
I think it's just the UK.
Really?
The
and
left
I-
side of the road, correct?
it's got to be more places than that.
Mhm.
I
It
don't-
says United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, India, Japan, and many Caribbean islands. And
That's
I know
right. New
Fiji.
Zealand,
Yeah.
New Zealand does. I've been there.
Yeah.
What am I talking about?
But other than that, I don't know. I mean,
Are
you
eating
have a lot of
like, fried
holidays.
chicken, a lot of
Yeah.
sauce, a lot of
all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you just have to drive everywhere. There's not really much to do.
So wait, back to the British boys. Like are they mean at first? Or are they hard to read?
Hard to read, mean. And it stays pretty consistent.
So what I'm hearing is the UK men are just upfront sucky.
Yes.
And the American men pretend not to be sucky at first, but then you eventually find out they're also sucky.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So all of them just suck at the end of the day.
Only the ones that I've met.
Okay. And how many do you feel like you've met personally in your go around?
Do you know what? I think in general, as a whole, or just in America? Because this is a very, very broad question.
I think as a whole.
Okay.
All of them?
I've met a few, yeah. Quite a few. I think, it's almost like homework for me.
Well, back to school.
Yes, exactly. I need to understand the minds of men. One thing, if I had children, I would definitely say travel the world, date men, have sex with a condom, obviously. But you don't have to wait months to have sex with someone, I don't think,
You're like, do you feel like that messes with the chances of maybe having something? Because I know a lot of women are always like, oh, you can't have sex at the first date. They'll think I'm easy. They won't want to date me. Like, do you think that's valid, or do you think that's all in our women's heads?
No, I think 50-50. I think it all depends on the vibes of the date. I mean, if you're emotionally mature enough to understand that you're an adult, he's an adult, you're vibing, he's sexy, you're sexy, and it's like, okay, I just want to have sex with you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're allowed to do that. You're an adult as long as it's consensual. But then on the flip hand, if it's like I'm going to talk on my perspective, me going out there and just being like, I just want to have sex with everyone. I'm allowed to do that, but is it going to be perceived as, okay, she probably doesn't
want something serious?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's valid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's valid. Nick, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I think timelines are useless. I think a guy will wait. Guys love a goal. Give him 6 months, he'll wait 6 months. Give him 2 days, he'll wait 2 days. I think if you
6 to 8.
I think if you, like you said it perfectly, if you want to have sex, you should have sex because that's all you're going to get is sex. If you're having sex because you think he'll like you more, he won't.
No.
He never will.
Definitely not.
You know, he'll like you more by not having sex.
Yeah.
Once he has sex with you, he's like, oh, I guess I just wanted to have sex with you.
Yeah.
Men don't know that until after they have sex with you, but they think they're
interested until they're in to it.
Kind of. They just.
They're like,
They're like, actually, probably not.
That thing I was.
I'm not seeing a future. Won't be a second date.
Like just checking the oil. They're like, nah, not gonna happen.
That's so, and that can happen even if you make him wait six weeks or 6 dates.
Yeah. Honestly, I think what we've learned is men are disgusting.
Yeah.
Honestly. And we are just so lovely. You know what I'm saying?
Women are so attractive and sexy.
Yes.
And we smell good.
We do.
We
have soft, supple skin.
Yeah.
Only if we moisturize. Mine's pretty scaly right now, I'm not going to lie.
Must moisturize.
But you smell amazing.
Do you know what expectation I hate? And I want to know about you girls, right? I shave every 2 days. Sorry, Nick. Women conversation. No, because
he's used to
TMI,
it. Oh
shaving.
God.
That seems like a lot.
Sometimes it gets... No, because I get fucking hairy.
Oh, yeah.
Like my legs, my hair's like black. I've only got highlights
You're
in it to
preaching to the
lighten it
choir.
up. Yeah.
Preaching to the choir.
So I have to shave all the time.
I'm like, ah! No, I'm kidding.
No, Nick will have to. Nick will make like if I do this, will you shave your legs yet or no?
Love that it's a negotiation, compromise.
It's like if I go and get you a coffee this morning, will you maybe shave your legs when you take a shower? Or no? I'm like, I don't think today is the day for that.
Like, okay,
no.
Okay. I'll try again tomorrow.
But
so make sure it's iced.
You shave every 2 days.
I have to.
And that's the expectation that you hate? Is that like to be like
because if my armpits get a little bit hairy, I'm like, ugh, if I want to go to a club and I put my hands up, people are going to look at me and be like, oh, shabba, shabba, shabba. But then should I care?
No.
Why do I care?
I don't know.
Because we're conditioned.
Because we have to.
We're conditioned that way. I saw a TikTok of a man
you
and
like
he
to be
said,
liked.
I'm sick. He said something about like women always being like, oh, I haven't shaved. And he was like, I eat the sticker on an apple. Lay down. Babe. And I was like, you do.
It's so true, though.
Y'all
They
eat some
don't
nasty
care.
shit. Y'all don't care. So like, you know, why do I care? I don't. Nick made me get a massage once, and
Made you? What
he
kind
told
of
me
monster am I?
No, he told me
Also,
he
like
get
that
made me get a
massage. That's a great
No,
thing to
yeah,
be
yeah.
made to do.
But he didn't tell me that it wasn't a massage.
stretch.
It was a lymphatic stretch. So me and my bush walked into that room, and she had my leg all the way up here, and my bush was in her face.
Oh,
so that's something that we as a
no.
couple did have to work through.
I actually walked in on my mum giving my neighbour a full-on Brazilian wax
Neighbor.
when I was younger.
Oh my God.
And I thought, oh, my mum's, she's lesbian. She's cheating on my dad.
She's going to.
She's got her face, because my neighbour was like laying on the couch, legs up. My mum was like down there.
Mm-hmm.
I walked in. I must
heard
have
some
been 6 years old or something. And I've walked out and gone, oh no. I'm like planning the divorce. My dad's going to leave and this is going to happen. You know, when you're a kid and you're sat in your bedroom and you're like, oh no, I've got the weight of the world on my shoulders.
Take to Dad's house.
What am I going to tell him?
Yeah.
Who's going to take the dogs?
The neighbor's like, like, oh no, they're having so much fun in there.
They were literally crying.
The funny thing is, I only brought it up to her a little while ago. I was like, Mum, because I'm in therapy. I said, that was a very traumatizing moment for me. And she said, obviously, I kind of knew that she was just waxing her vagina, but she went, oh, I didn't actually realize that you'd walked in. Otherwise, I would have like said something. I said, yeah, that was a bit weird that you didn't say anything, but she didn't know that I walked in.
But she was so just knee deep
Yeah.
in the cooch. She didn't
Yeah.
realize you had entered the room.
You're like,
and
not
neither
making
did the
eye
neighbor.
contact. You're not making eye contact with your mom at dinner. You're like,
Maybe that's why I shave.
There's
I'm
your
scared to
problem.
wax.
Eye contact
Every
is-
2 days. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't know anyone.
We've cracked the code.
You don't want anyone to think you're cheating.
No.
We've cracked the code.
Just get
Chloe,
laser.
It looks like a very fun show, and we're excited that you are a part of it. It's Sneaky Links. It's out tomorrow on Netflix. Check it out if you are in the mood for some scandalous dating hookups, some secrets, some sneaky links. This is the show for you. And congratulations on
Thank
hosting the
you.
show. Very cool experience.
Oh, I appreciate you
What was
guys.
that call like?
I cried. Like, first of all, I didn't even think I was going to get it. Like, one of the execs from Netflix called me and he's like, Chloe, because over the years they've pitched loads of shows. They're like, we want you to do this, we want you to do that. And it gets to a point where you become disheartened. You're like, it's just never going to happen. Okay, whatever. I'm just going to start waxing vaginas. I got the call and they said, Chloe, we've got a show. It's like in development right now. We want you to be the host. And I'm like, okay. But then I didn't get too excited. A couple of weeks later, they were like, okay, the date's locked in. Then the negotiations started happening. Like, I haven't been paid as much as I've been paid from any show, even combined to host. So now I'm like, oh, okay. I think I could do this forever. You know?
Yeah, I'm a Netflix employee.
Yeah,
I'm part of the biz. you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then it must be cool because obviously Netflix has a plethora of talent that I'm sure many of them were, you know, I mean, come on, you got like you're competing a little bit with your peers is what I'm saying. And like you know,
There's always like a, it's almost like a
you got a job that many of
motivation.
them wish they would have gotten, you know, right?
I mean, I did get that envious feeling when Melinda done her dating and related, and I was like, oh, I would love to do that. No, envy isn't the right word. It's almost like, oh wow, like, because
motivation.
Yeah, it was motivating because no one had ever done it before. No one's ever really been talent turned host on Netflix.
Yeah.
Now there's a couple people, and now I am. I'm like, oh, okay.
Good.
I just hope it gets a second season. So please watch it, guys.
Please watch it. Stream.
All right, well, watch it. Check it out. Sounds like you guys are going to love it. We're excited to watch it. It's out tomorrow. Chloe, where can, other than on Netflix, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Chloe Veitch.
All right.
VEITCH.
Well, thanks for coming, Chloe.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, questions asked and answered. It's
Truly.
going to sound, if nothing else, I think it's going to be hot people hooking up. So
I'll be
Which
watching.
is fun to watch.
beautiful.
You know, always fun to watch.
Subscribe. Let's do Summer House. Did Lexi carry this season?
Yeah.
Low-key.
She gave us the drama.
Honestly, yeah. If it wasn't for Lexi, we wouldn't have the drama with Sierra and Jessi.
I mean,
Sierra,
honestly,
Jessi, West, Jessi. Like, I'm just like, there's just like, it's not even like that there's like atomic bombs being blown up. It's just like little fires everywhere.
Yeah.
do we care about anything else this
Not
season?
really.
No.
Well,
There hasn't been really any other interesting storylines.
Well, we had the like Paige and Craig breakup kind of in the beginning, but then it's like that storyline's completely dropped off.
Did you catch what she said in this episode when she's like, I'm in a happy, healthy
I
relationship?
did hear that, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, girl."
I just never see
yikes.
him. Yeah.
Well, we did have I feel like the moment where Lindsay brought up her like anniversary of her breakup post.
She activated.
Either it was the producers going to Lindsay or Lindsay going to the producers and being like, "Can I just give me this? I've been living in a room, not being a part of this season, doing absolutely nothing." Or maybe the producers are like, "Hey, do you know like?" Can we get a little something from you? I know you're like, all about happy, healthy Lindsay, keeping your peace. Can you just be petty for no reason for a second? I mean, do we agree this is like an absurd video for her to post?
The caption was absolutely absurd, but it kind of like feels like I think she's completely over Carl, but I don't think she's over like just taking the jabs at Carl, because I'm like, what other reason are we doing
Maybe
gender
so.
reveal?
Maybe so.
Also,
Scavenger hunt.
West has never been more afraid for his life. When he was like, I read your post, and she was like, okay. And he was like, I didn't see it, but I read it. And she was like, so you didn't see it, but you read it. And he's like, well, I didn't. And she's like, is there something you want to say? He's like, well, no.
Literally no.
Literally, like he was a panic.
Well,
Immediate
let me
panic.
ask you this. What's the line of fucking move on versus, you get to keep talking? At some point, and as someone, I'm just saying, I know what it's like to be Carl.
Yeah, like I felt bad for Carl at the dinner where I'm just like, first off, he brought the sandwiches, and she's like, I brought better sandwiches.
No, but Lindsay is pregnant with someone else's child.
Yeah.
And Carl did do her a favor. And Carl, despite her hating it in the moment and her graciously coming on this show to talk mad shit about Carl post breakup, which we all appreciated, she should be thanking Carl in a genuine way, not in a petty sort of like I've moved on despite.
I don't think she's in a genuine place quite yet.
Whatever.
No,
She doesn't have to
I don't
really
think
think,
she
but
has
the
to be.
reality is that she is having someone else's baby. It wouldn't have happened if it weren't for Carl, like maybe seeing the light. All that being said, like I'm just saying, I know what it's like to be Carl, and having people just like not get over the fact that someday in this lifetime, you two had some kind of connection, and that connection's fucking over, and maybe we can just move on, and maybe you can find a different way to get engagement or clicks. I'm just saying, I know what it's like, and it's pretty fucking annoying.
But also, you do have to put in context that this is a year, less than a year after the breakup.
It was a year.
A year.
Anniversary.
I mean, but they've been filming before this episode for a while. So it was less than a year that she's been like back living with her ex-fiance. I'm sure she's re-triggered by a lot of things. It's only been less than a
carrying
year.
a child that
But she hasn't given birth yet. She hasn't like had that connection of like, oh my God, this is like what I was carrying. I can't even think about my life before now having held this baby. She's kind of like back living with her ex, back getting re-triggered by like everything he did. It was only like
I mean, if I'm
10, 11 months ago.
If I'm the new boyfriend, hate it.
I'm gonna.
Well, Turner seems to be very chill.
Yeah, but I
Maybe
kind
so. Maybe
I have
she's
to
just
kind of
working.
agree with Nick here in the sense that I'm like, we made choices. I don't think that anybody should have to not be on this show based off of an ex or based off of a relationship, or it's anybody's responsibility. But you did make a choice to come on and spend your pregnant summer with the ex-fiance who you claim to have humiliated you. So I'm like, it just seems like these are just like a dig after dig, week after week of like, how do I make Carl uncomfortable in this house?
I love it.
And I'm just like, it's kind of me.
Funny.
It is. Well, it's also like Lindsay's, when the reveal of Lindsay like coming back pregnant with another guy's baby to her ex-boyfriend Carl and living with him. All I want to see in that as a viewer is mess.
I mean, listen, again, in the terms of this show, it was a funny moment. I'm just saying, practically speaking, it's
like Carl throwing jabs too. Carl's like, she's not over it.
well, she's not.
But he's not throwing jabs. That's just like his reaction. He's tried to apologize. He tried to be like, hey, like, let's be cool this summer.
I know. I just
like-
want to see them throw more jabs at each other.
That's
what
where
I
I'm like,
want.
that's where I'm like, she's pregnant with somebody else's baby. Like doing this, it'd be one thing if not, or she wasn't in a new relationship, then like fine. But I'm just like, enjoy being pregnant, enjoy your new relationship.
The conversation that this episode opened up with Sierra and Jessi having like some kind of serious friend heart to heart,
Yeah.
like if you're doing that with someone of the opposite sex that's not your girlfriend and you are supposedly in a new dating situation and you're pursuing a relationship,
couldn't be me.
I'm just saying that conversation that Sierra and Jessi had, like someone wants to have sex with someone in that scenario. There's just no point to have that serious of a conversation about each other's feelings and how one person might feel disrespected or needs you to prioritize them. That is.
I will say they clearly had a friendship for a while. I mean, they met last year. They've had a friendship. I mean, I think like the whole time, if Jessi, I would take it a little bit more serious if we hadn't watched Jessi so overly flirt with her for the past 2 summers. Like, I feel like maybe I would have taken that conversation a little bit more to the heart where it's like, oh no, he just genuinely like misses his friend Sierra and he doesn't like that they're in this like weird limbo friendship where she's kind of being mean to him and he like doesn't understand why. But it does raise some flags when like you definitely want to fuck her and like you have been nonstop flirting with her. You've crossed very many boundaries when you're supposed to be in a relationship with Lexi. So if I'm Lexi, I'm also like, this is a weird conversation to be having.
And I also have to say, I'm like, it doesn't feel like Jessi was like so much upset about like where his friendship is with Sierra as much as he was upset about the names that he was being called. He was like, it hurt my feelings. You called me two-faced. You called me a liar. And it's like, but you are two-faced and you are a liar. So where did she stutter? What does she apologize for?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't want to be like the type of liar that women call a narcissist or a monster.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's about the, like, you're cock blocking
like,
me for the future.
But
I know I'm supposed to be in this committed relationship with Lexi, and I know that we're really good friends, but like, you guys are really cock blocking me for when the season ends. That's how that felt.
Yeah.
Jessi's never going to change.
No.
And he's never going to have to.
Also, Kyle was dirty.
What part?
Where Kyle goes to Lexi and he's like, were you talking about Sierra? Because that whole thing up there was about Sierra. And like, it really was the one comment.
I liked it.
He did the right thing.
I kind of liked it too.
It felt very like Kyle's stirring the pot.
See, and that's the thing. In the past, he usually, he does, but he's like messy with it. But I'm just like, I don't know. For me, I'm like, I would appreciate knowing that the man that I'm sitting here like debating whether or not I'm going to stay with literally just ran right behind me and goes, this is why she broke up with me. And that Sierra comment came out of nowhere. Like,
unless
he was smiling.
production edited it out.
That's fair.
Like,
no, Lexi said, I didn't mention Sierra's name once outside.
I wonder if she said it like in person after, you know, like maybe not in that conversation, but had said it to him in person when they were hanging out in between the US Open and coming to film for Summer House. And he's like using that.
But this is the problem I have with Jessi is that it's like the question that was asked was, what was that conversation outside about? And he was like, she's mad that I had a nice time with Sierra.
Not what she said.
Not the conversation that was had. You couldn't wait to throw her under the bus and have everybody on your side and fuck that girl. And like, that's what I don't like about him. He is two-faced.
He'll never change though. You know what?
Him talking, everything that he says is the most like eye roll comment. I mean, him talking about Paige. I don't know where I saw a clip of it. He was talking about Paige, about how she's the funniest girl ever and she's so relatable. She'll go out and she'll order a Coke. Not a Diet Coke, but a Coke, a regular Coke. And it's like, okay. Him talking about his exes, he's like, yeah, and none of them were just like excited about their careers. Like, none of them were. What do you do, Jessi?
First of all, I mean, we talked to Lexi for like 90 minutes. She seems
to be loving
very excited about her career. We learned a lot about Lexi.
There's a lot going on.
Sounds like we had a conversation that Jessi never had with her.
Right. About herself.
About herself.
Yeah.
Literally.
But like I said, he'll never change because Professor Scott Galloway, I'm a fan of his work. He talks a lot about like the digitization.
Digitization?
Yeah. Of internet dating. And how it's made dating for women, for all women, just a little bit worse.
Oh, yeah.
And then made for a small percentage of men, Jessi.
A little bit better.
Amazing. Amazing. Because like everyone online thinks they have access to the 1% available to them, the 6'4" people who make a little bit of money. And then it's just trash for all the an average looking man. So average is whatever you think it is, has to swipe write 1,000 times to get one coffee date, and then 4 out of 5 of those women will ghost him.
Ooh.
While Jesse Sullivan is up there just being like, shh, and he can just he'll get unlimited chances to.
I feel like
to
maybe
be an
not
ass.
after this. I don't know.
He still
or
will.
maybe he'll get more.
No, he
Who
still will.
knows? Yeah,
He'll
they'll probably eat him.
He's
up
getting
if he
eaten
wants.
alive for this
on the
music
internet,
drop.
but when he walks out in New York, there'll always be
There'll be
plenty
one.
of people
That's
who
true.
think they
it's
can
the
change
one who's
him.
talked the most shit about him too. That's gonna be like, hey,
Mhm.
oh my god, you cannot believe that I hooked up with that disgusting slime ball.
Yeah.
You went for him.
Anyways, congratulations, Lexi. You really handled yourself quite well
She does.
throughout this season, and that's how you break up with
Finale's
someone.
next week.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how this ends.
All right, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives time. Before we get to the interview of Jessi and Mikayla, Miranda, maybe it's just like rookie season. We enjoyed our conversation of going deeper with her. She gave a lot there, but she seemed to be kind of afraid of all the women this season.
Well, they weren't the most welcoming.
Yeah.
That intro.
They're like, dance. Let's see what you got.
That does seem like one of the most terrifying environments to have to enter into as a newbie.
Like the one person is the person you had a falling out with because you are in each other's husbands kind of had a thing or not.
Huge public fallout, information exposed about you against your will.
Your one ally is Whitney.
Maybe.
That must be a little frustrating on Miranda's part of just kind of like, bitch, I was a fucking OG.
I started this shit.
Literally,
Yeah.
like, y'all about to tell me I can't be in Mom Talk when I, like, helped create this?
Well, that's why it was so funny to me at the beginning of the first episode where it was just like, oh my God, wait, is that Miranda? Oh my God. Like, she was in Mom Talk. And it was just like, girls, don't act like you haven't seen her. Like, we remember the contracts.
Yeah, but I don't think we realize when, like, this group of women who make up this show are a small percentage of all the moms of Utah and Salt Lake City. And the aspiring mom talkers we've learned talking to these women, like, there's a lot of them. There's thousands of them. So even though, like, Taylor knew Miranda, I honestly don't think a lot of these women, like, they weren't, like, friends with her. Like, they didn't fuck with her. So I think for a lot of them, like,
it was their first time meeting her.
maybe not their first time meeting. I don't know about that, but I don't think it was like this person they've been hanging out with on the regular on the side. And then they pretended to not know her coming in.
I'm just saying, like, I didn't know anything about Mom Talk. I mean, I knew Mom Talk before Secret Lives, but, like, I knew Taylor, Miranda, and Camille were, like, the originators.
Sure,
of
that's
it when
because,
it
like,
started.
this all started through the scandal,
Yeah.
which I think a lot of these women, like the Demise and the Jens, weren't a part of that scandal and weren't friends. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
this group came together after the fact. So
Was
I don't-
Camille not involved in the swinging?
She was just,
No,
it was
she
like
was
a
just
it was a
the-
trio kind of.
Yeah, it was Miranda, Camille, and Taylor, and then
Because people
Camille's
speculated
not.
it was Camille when Taylor did that original, like, TikTok live, but then it was like Miranda that came out being like, those are lies. So
well,
then it
then
was like,
there was like the whole like negotiations for casting or something. And remember, it was like they were talking about Miranda and Camille, like saying like I would never do that or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be on a show with Taylor.
Yeah.
But like I'm glad
Look at
she's
them
on
now.
it. Yeah.
Also, the dinner at Taylor's parents' house when Dakota comes.
It's a tough watch.
I was so mad.
That was
I wanted
hard.
to turn off the TV.
That was hard.
What did you do, like, to allow him to come over and sleep? When I was
Her
like,
dad, like, calling her easy was.
I'm just watching trauma wounds being
tough.
opened.
It was also tough to, like, and I don't obviously know their dynamic, but to, like, not see her sisters or her mom be like, oh, that was a little far, honey. Maybe let's not go there. I
Well,
mean,
and it was also like the comparison of like, yeah, he may have cheated on you, but you let him come over to your house after the fact. And she's like, I didn't fucking know. This is why I want you to be on my side. What he did to me was fucked.
Yeah, it's tough. I know. We now see Taylor though, obviously defending her family in the comments. I don't want to inappropriate for sure. Tough watch. Definitely would have loved Dakota to have stood up for his lady in that moment.
anyone to stand up.
But
I mean,
especially
it's just-
Dakota. when
Well,
it is-
Dakota, we watch Dakota time after time. Halloween party, he doesn't stand up for. I mean, he's
Don't even
like
get me
him and
started.
Chase are going at Taylor. Like he does
Yeah,
not stand
no,
up for her.
I know. It is a weird moment though. I mean, we've talked about this, but when you were pregnant on Thanksgiving, and it was the first time I had experienced like men in your family making like remarks about like
Her body.
your body, which wasn't meant maliciously, but was and it wasn't like I had to like confront them, but I made some like remarks about their comments in a passive aggressive way, which was weird to do. but like still necessary.
Right. That's not nice.
Yeah, well, I think this is like, what's with all the guys in this family like commenting on pregnant women's bodies? And I kind of said that aloud, and they all kind of awkwardly. Her brother was very kind and handled it appropriately after the fact. But yeah, he just doesn't. Yeah, Dakota doesn't.
It's almost like he not like he enjoys it happening to Taylor, but it's like he enjoys the support for himself. That it's just like we're being on the same side as somebody else. That it's just like he just does not have her back no matter what.
Which I think what we know about Dakota and Taylor is they are antagonistic with each other. I mean, we've all been in those types of relationships where you just, it's the hurt people, and they're constantly hurting each other. And I think they both feel like a victim of the other person. So, they can't get out of how they feel victimized in this relationship. They can't see the forest through the trees.
Right.
I mean, and Taylor, that whole scene where she's going through the text message, like it's going to be. Taylor's always so in control when she's activated. I think that's why we love Taylor so much. You can tell she's triggered, but like she has this level of calmness that makes her seem so very in control. Like when she's going through the text messages, or when she's confronting one of the ladies, she never loses it completely
until it's that time.
I was gonna say,
but even then, she's articulate. She doesn't lose her composure.
But she
so
gets
many
like
people
everything
do.
out, and then we cry. But it's like she's not doing anything a step before. I can't remember what episode it was. Maybe it was Halloween, but it was like somebody was like narrating her confrontation, being like, she's cocking her head to the side. You know what that means? Taylor's getting activated, and it's like these tells where it's like she's processing, she's taking in everything, and then when she strikes, it's so beautiful.
It is.
Well, she does like a head nod. She's like, "Oh yeah, yeah."
Her eyes get all like.
Yeah.
She's incredible.
I am reading, I am processing, and I'm about to eviscerate you.
Yeah. The best part is watching these women attempt to go after Taylor, and then she does the whole and they're like,
yeah.
I love you.
I wish I could. God, to be able to eviscerate someone like that is the coolest.
It's a
thing in the
skill.
world. It's a skill. I do not have it, and I kind of wish I did. I would only use it for good.
Is Demi trying too hard so far?
Yeah. From like.
Did she come into the season feeling like a little confident about her position in Mom Talk?
As a fan favorite.
Yeah.
Is it possible?
And it's like the competing with Taylor, where I'm like, Taylor's just on her own tip. Like she's really not focused on what's going on the other girls in the other girls' lives outside of herself. And then it's like Demi is just so focused on what everyone else is doing. Fuck Jen. Jen doesn't tell the truth. Taylor's behavior. Like it's just like, why don't you just take a beat?
Yeah, but even, I don't mind the shit talking, because even like Mikayla is talking more shit this season. Jessi is louder this season, but they seem to be doing it in a way that doesn't come across as trying to reclaim a position.
That's what I was gonna say.
You know what I'm saying?
Demi's doing that thing where she's trying to have like secret cahoots with other people, so everyone's on the same page. When I confront this person, you have my back. Where Mikayla's just like, I don't need to sit around. I could talk shit behind your back, but I also will say it straight to your face in the moment, no hesitation. I'm like, Demi is kind of like sneaky about it, and then tries to act like it's like, oh well, everybody feels this way, but like I didn't originate this thought. Where she did, and she's not owning that.
Well, we'll hear Jessi's version of the whole contract negotiations, but when they talk about it in the next batch of episodes, the way to me is just like, no, it's just like there was just like a misunderstanding, and like everything's fine now. And then when we hear Jessi's version, she's like, she did what?
Yeah.
She said what? It's two different versions.
That's what I said. She's giving a wolf in sheep's clothing is what Demi is giving for me this season.
It's good to watch.
Yeah. As I said, I'm entertained. I am hooked. I have not been able to stop watching it. I'm already ready to rewatch it. I was like, I'm going to wait for the finale. I had to get through the whole thing. There was no way that I was stopping at episode 9. It was so good.
I don't know what they all like. Jessi and Demi's big problem with Jen is. They're trying. Why are they trying so hard to take out Jen?
I don't know, unless it's this whole like Demi Vanderpump Villa stuff, because I was like, Jen hasn't done anything.
I mean, the whole like her talking to Zach and her being like, well, you told me that we were related to Ben Affleck. And he's like, I never said that. You made that up. And she's like, no, you told me. And he's like, I literally never said that.
But that's like literally Jen's biggest crime, which is like leaning into a silly rumor.
I'm sure his family has been like, the Afflecks? Oh yeah, like they're our cousin. Like, I'm sure that when they first met, it was like a joke that maybe she wasn't under the impression it was a joke.
And sweet little Mormon Jen was just like,
Sweet
really?
little
Oh my
Mormon
God.
Jen.
Yes.
I'm dating an Affleck.
Yeah, we're famous.
They didn't anticipate Jen being famous and telling the world. And they're like, no. Actually, we were just kidding.
Yeah.
Right, she ruined that whole family's reputation back in Provo.
It's kind of more charming than it is evil, though.
Yeah, I feel like from what I can gather, that's kind of her biggest crime. And then maybe, with the whole Halloween party, she didn't relay the message to Zach the best possible way.
But I'm like, to be fair, where I'm just like, whatever issues they may have, like, I'm like, whatever goes on in her relationship, like, they need to work that out. But it's like weird that the other women are so like, well, Zach, like, they didn't tell, well, she didn't tell, well, I communicated. And it's just like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know. It's like you guys are trying to ruin her relationship.
It's also like, they're trying to like be the middleman of their relationship and be like, well, did she tell you this? And Zach's like, well, I mean, not in, and it's like, well, but about this, did she tell you that? And it's like, just let them be a married couple.
Thank you.
And figure it out on their own.
I think, Natalie, you nailed it, because even I was kind of awestruck when Demi and Brett had said that Jen scapegoated him for the money in Vegas when it was his money, but said it was him gambling her money.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that I think they're so quick to try to expose the fact that they think she's like scapegoating him for like being a bad person. When does it really matter,
We'll see, but we left season 1 hating Zach. Everyone,
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't Whitney, Zach was maybe the biggest villain of the season. But like, I don't like,
I love Zach.
and maybe some people will never forgive him for his haircut season 1, or just like some people just like hate his face. Some people hate my face. They'll never get over it. But I think there's a world where Zach might redeem himself a little bit. He seems like he's just said, I'm going to go ahead and be a husband.
Better, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He got a haircut.
Got a haircut. Quit medical school. I mean, if you say, oh, well, not because she's making money. Either way, you're talking about a man who grew up in a very patriarchal society. And this is a man who's who's quitting his dreams to support his wife's. I'm just saying, like, we should acknowledge that a little bit. We'll see if it's real. We'll see how long it lasts, but steps in the right direction.
Agreed.
Yeah, preach.
Well, anyways, let's hear from Jessi and Mikayla first. And listen, people, there's a lot in this season to break down. We're going to be talking about this show for a few weeks now. We're not the ones who chose for them to like drop it all at once. So like we will be breaking down things. If we didn't get to your favorite scene today, chances are it's in this interview with Jessi and Mikayla. Don't worry. We have Macy and Layla on Thursday Reality Recap of Going Deeper. I will say we were supposed to have Taylor, but some drama happened between Dakota and Taylor that morning, which seems to be an ongoing thing. So they're still making each other's lives miserable. Yeah, something happened late at night. They were filming season 3. I don't know.
I was going to say, hopefully it'll be in season 3.
Lots of detail.
I am pretty sure Macy gives us some insight on that on Thursday.
So anyways, Jessi and Mikayla.
We're just trying to live up to the version of us that Jeff and Steve think that we are. Obviously, those are our pets. If you don't know by now, if you don't, I don't know where you've been, but they assume that we've got it all together. Woo! Boy, are they wrong. Meanwhile, we are Googling, can dogs eat watermelon? That was literally me yesterday with a strawberry. Can they eat strawberries? Because I did let Steve eat that strawberry. Okay, great. And realizing that we're out of food, and oh my God, we forgot the flea meds. Chewy has both delivered fast. Now they're well-fed, itch-free, and still think we've got it all under control, thanks to Chewy. With over 100,000 products from top pet brands, Chewy makes it easy to find everything from food and treats to beds and toys, all delivered to your door in 1 to 2 days. They also carry supplies for birds, fish, reptiles, and other small pets. To support your pet's health, they offer prescription medications, telehealth, vet visits, pet insurance, and are expanding in-person vet clinics across the country. As temperature rises, so does the risk of fleas and ticks. Even for indoor pets, these pests can spread through other animals, visits to the groomer or vet, and even hitch a ride on humans. Chewy carries a wide range of vet-recommended flea and tick medications to help protect your pet year-round.
Their customer support is available 24/7 on the phone or chat with expert advice always on hand. And with their 100% satisfaction guarantee, you can return any item within a year, no questions asked. Chewy has everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy. And right now, you can save $20 on your first order and get free shipping by going to chewy.com/VIALL. It is chewy.com/VIALL to save $20 on your first order with free shipping. Chewy.com/VIALL. Minimum purchase required. New customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See site for complete details. Jessi, Mikayla, welcome back.
Yeah,
back like we never
I'm
left.
not back in the corner this time.
I know.
Was
I can
that
actually
you?
see you and hear you.
That's crazy.
I'm like, I get, first chair. I can barely hear you
was
last time.
Was that trauma of being in back?
Yes,
kind of like
it brought up all my
catapulted-
wounds from therapy about not being good enough.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Well, I gotta say, I mean, you
literally.
you really showed up this season.
Oh, really?
Well, you are front and center of the drama. You are,
Yeah,
I heard you were stirring the pot. I mean, I haven't watched it, but in all the press, they're like, Jessi really is stirring the
someone
pot. I
texted
was
me a
like, I
podcast
believe
where was
it.
like, you're messy. And
honestly,
I was like, what?
both of you.
Oh.
And listen, I say this with love and a compliment as someone who, again, more than anything, just a fan.
Okay, good.
Just
Thanks.
simply just a fan of
Great
both
TV,
you, of
yeah.
the show. You both found your voice through both your voice and your actions.
Oh, great.
Specifically you, Jessi.
Yay.
Yeah, you definitely
It was a
were
crazy season.
front and center. Yeah.
Yay,
But
Jessi.
anyways, so yeah, was that trauma putting you in back there? What really catapulted
Yeah, that's
you?
why I
Yeah.
stepped it up season 2.
Good. I find it fascinating that you ladies, we're recording this before the season has dropped. You ladies haven't seen it yet.
No, we're nervous.
You're nervous?
Yeah.
Have you fought with the producers?
Yes.
No, I'm
try
the
to see it?
favorite. So like
I'm the
Just kidding.
favorite.
I feel like we're
I'm like, I
spicy.
never fight them. I feel like we've asked a little bit though.
Yeah, we get irritated, but also I feel like our producers are very sarcastic like me. So if I'm saying things, it's like I'm annoying, but I'm still gonna do it, and they know that.
Yeah.
I just like to give them shit.
But it's also, I'm
true.
sure, because everyone you're talking to has seen it, and they're all like, oh,
Yes.
this and oh,
Yes.
that. And so
And
I'm
we
sure
lived
you
it, but we
want-
have no idea, obviously, how it's put together, what was cut and stuff. And so it's hard to like know you guys have seen it, and we have no idea what the edit is.
Well, it's funny when they ask me about it because they do call you Messy Jessi.
Oh,
we like talk
amazing.
about all the events. They're like, and Chase was invited. Oh, Jessi invited him, and this person was invited. Oh, Jessi invited him. And we're like, interesting.
Oh, whoops! It's just I'm too nice.
No, you
just
are.
want everyone involved.
Jessi is a yes girl. She's
I
too
am.
nice.
I am.
So is that what it is? You're just.
I have a hard time, saying no to people, and
Okay.
so I feel like I'm a people pleaser, which can
But
make me
it's
messy.
it's not necessarily Machiavellian in the sense where you're like, who's not here? I feel like,
What can I do to make this dramatic?
it's not.
But
that.
hey, it made good TV, right?
No. Again, thank you. I'm just
Yeah, it does.
but I'm just curious, like the human Jessi, like
Yeah.
what is she
It's
thinking?
people pleasing for
Okay,
sure.
It's people pleasing.
Yes.
Okay.
I think even after the Halloween party, she's like, I had no idea this was gonna happen. Like crying. I'm like, what do you mean? I told you that. I told you not to
I
invite
didn't know
Chase.
Chase that well at all. I think I had met him
You
one
didn't.
time. Yeah,
But
so
you're
I had no
friends
idea.
with his girlfriend.
Yes, very
You know
good
what?
friends.
Honestly, that's a great place to start because I think a lot of fans, me included, obviously we know that Mom Talk started with like Miranda and Taylor and the whole swinging scandal, and obviously we talk about that a lot and that gets brought up a lot. But like I don't feel like everyone fully knows like who was friends with who really knew each other, like
Yeah.
how close were all of you women before this all like really got together Mom Talk wise. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
you
how
know
did you
more.
all like how did you get brought into the group?
So Macy actually brought me in.
Okay.
And it's funny because in Utah, like there's a big group of influencers and we all go to events together and like it's like a little community. So we were all intertwined in that community.
Like how many?
It's like if we haven't
Like,
met, you know,
50 to
of
100
these
like
people.
prominent ones.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So like you would go to an event and see people. So like Macy and I knew each other because of that. I had actually done Whitney's hair for 2 years before the show.
Jessi's mom did my hair once.
Yeah, Mikayla's been to my salon. So we all knew of each other. Like I am responsible for Whitney's ever-changing hair in season 1, you know? So like I knew Whitney.
That was you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I knew Whitney really well. And then Macy referred me because she just, I guess, thought I would be good because she knew of me. But
Yeah,
there
there
was
was-
that Mom Talk group that was really close for a while, but it was like more business, right?
What year was that? Because we started pilot 2022, end of 2022.
Yeah.
And that was me, Macy, Whitney, Taylor. And then Taylor got arrested. We held off on all the filming for like a year.
Yeah.
And then Demi came on the last day of filming the pilot in 2022.
Oh.
So she filmed like 1 or 2 days just to like scope her out. And then we did recasting after Taylor got arrested. And that's when Jen, Jessi, Layla came
and
in.
Layla was around for the original Mom Talk.
Yeah, Layla was at the original Mom Talk before the swinging stuff. I think there was like an original Mom Talk for like a year before the swinging stuff, if I'm right. And so I had met up with like Miranda and Taylor, knew them for like a short period of time. And then the swinging stuff came out, hung out with Miranda like once or twice after.
Yeah.
And she kind of gave me like her side of the swinging stuff. And then 2 years go by, and that's when the show
We always
came
say
out,
though,
and-
but back
yeah.
then Mom Talk was like transactional from what
Very.
I've heard. Like
Yeah.
business, get your video done, see ya. Now it's like a real friendship.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's a group of women in Utah who maybe were involved in the original Mom Talk who are very bitter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
For
gotta
sure.
be.
I'm
Right?
sure, but I'm like,
I want that story. As
I want
well.
that to be a show of its own.
Right? No, I want the story about all the women who are jealous, and it's like I don't know, put it on like a less popular platform or something.
That would be hilarious.
It
like
got
TLC
too
or
big
something.
though. Like, do you remember there was like the videos that would blow up? There were like literally like 20 girls, and
Yeah.
they like all filled the
It got
frame.
way too big.
Some of them would come from like out of town, so they weren't all from Utah. So it was
Wait, I
just
didn't
it
know
was too
that.
much. Yeah, there were like 5 people that would like come in and from out of town, and then they'd leave again.
Yeah.
But like
So-
they lived in Utah originally.
So
but-
going into the show, Jessi, you're closest with Macy.
Yeah.
Mikayla, you're closest with like
Macy and Jessi. Yeah.
Macy and Jessi.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, at the beginning.
Oh,
Very
going
beginning.
into the show, definitely Macy. Yeah, because I was like
Yeah.
best friends with Macy for 2 years before Mom Talk and filming.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually think I got closest with Jen and Layla before the show started filming though, because we all went on like
Yeah.
trips together and like we would hang out before filming started. And me, Jen, and Layla were like the newbies to the group. So we kind of like
Yeah.
stuck
Like,
together because
yeah.
of that. But then as filming went on, I obviously got really close with Demi.
Mhm.
And now I'm closest with Mikayla and Macy. So, and Taylor.
It changes all the time.
It does. You never know.
Do you ever run into the housewives?
Yes.
these are-
Brittany comes to my salon.
Okay.
And then I
Does
have
she
met
sing?
Whitney.
Is she singing when she walks in?
Yes, all the time. I love her. She's so funny, and she always grabs me to do like fun TikToks and stuff. Whitney, I've met a bunch of times. There was one time when Jen Shaw was in my break room eating pizza, and I was looking at my security cameras, and I was like, "What the hell?" So I like ran over to meet her. But yeah, like through that, yeah,
Mhm.
That's random.
yeah.
Mikayla.
Yeah.
Again, you were amazing this season and a little
you.
messier, which because you're so like
Love
like
that
for
for
the
me.
first season you were just like demure, quiet.
How about
Mikayla?
I'm like, I
unless
honestly
Whitney
think I
walked,
hated my life.
at least unless Whitney walked in the room. One thing I just love to just push back on you just a little bit. Just a little
Oh,
bit. Just a little
Watch
bit.
it.
Okay.
I know.
Unsolicited.
I'm like, watch a man.
You know, listen,
Watch
I'm usually not in the business of agreeing with Whitney,
Okay.
Uh-oh.
but like when
Let's
it
keep
comes,
that going
when,
today.
Don't stop now.
Yeah.
I honestly respect how much you hate her. But like the trolling TikToks, like
Yeah.
you really like this season, you really did not back down being like, I can do whatever the fuck I want. Which obviously you can, but like you can appreciate why like that maybe looks like you're going past the point of like standing up for yourself when it comes to like
I
Whitney
would
shenanigans.
say that,
But
but emphasis on the but. It's just there wasn't like the dynamic of like Whitney is so innocent and everyone's ganging up on her. It was like she was feeding into this role of like, oh, make me your villain. I'm this. Like it was all editing. I didn't know I was like this. And so it was just, it almost made it harder to be
Yeah.
quiet because it was like, oh, I don't remember it going that way. But yet she was still feeding into this and doing like the same patterns. And I think I didn't really have that drive to say as much until she brought like Macy into it. She was posting Macy's text messages where Macy was like backing her hard, blindly almost. And I feel like that's when I got almost more defensive because I was like,
Okay.
she was always a shitty friend to Macy. And I always told Macy that. But it wasn't until after the show and she was like throwing Macy under the bus and defending that she wasn't going to her launch by exposing their messages. And that's when I was like, all right.
See, that's helpful context because, like, in the show,
Yeah,
it
the
just looks
context
like
matters.
it just looks like you're just out there waking up,
Also, the
being like,
show-
"I'm gonna troll Whitney today."
Oh, are you saying in
one
season
didn't
2?
even
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
like how you guys stopped being
Oh
friends.
yeah, it didn't show like the falling out at all with Whitney. And Whitney has like that very victim mindset all the time. Like I said, every time she goes into something, tell me your issues. We tell her issues. She runs away crying and saying she's the victim. We're attacking her. And it's that. And it was continued through season 2. I had probably 7 conversations that ended the exact same way of her like, I really want to work on this, but you're not telling me what I'm doing wrong. And I was like, what about the last 6 conversations that I like, do I need to spell it out or like write a list and give it to you?
Yeah.
It was just so many conversations that ended the same way. And literally everyone agrees. And with Miranda coming into the group, it was like what she would do to everyone. The new person in the group, when she's on the outs, she'd get really close. And then when it didn't serve her, she doesn't talk to Miranda anymore because she left again. So
Interesting. Yeah, there was a scene with Macy where Macy wanted some accountability from Whitney and asked her to like reflect, like, do you now regret you not coming? And Whitney did this whole thing. So like, well, how could I be sorry if that's how I felt in that moment? And it's like, wait, that doesn't. That's literally the definition of like reflecting back on your actions and like knowing that you felt one way in one moment, and like now that like that moment has passed. Like thinking,
like she can't admit she was wrong in her feelings.
Yeah, I just.
Oh my gosh, and I could go all day just because I think it just triggers me so much.
I don't want to trigger you.
No, it's fine. It's just like
it's
filming with. It's because we're filming too, and I know with filming, yeah, it's the same thing. Like everyone's like, "Why are you so passionate?" Because I'm like, she hasn't changed. Like even just a week ago, couldn't say she regretted going to Macy's baby shower. She told Macy she had to look up the definition of regret to say if she regretted it. I'm like, you know what regret means. Gosh. And I'm like, you're an actress. Come in and act like you're sorry for season 2. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and Whitney's literally the only one who's never been on the show. There have been several conversations with her team and us about coming on. As a character, I'm a fan. Like I'm just obsessed with.
Well, it's entertaining for
the
sure.
Hospital TikTok.
He can't get over
I can't watch it without. It brings joy to my life. It truly does.
Because she's so blissfully unaware of how it comes across. It's really funny.
It's funny and it's frustrating.
And in this season, she didn't want to. She wanted to do an interview by herself. Our response was, "You're not really in it this season."
Ooh, good to know.
Like she definitely is much less of the villain this season from my perspective. But
is there a different villain? In your perspective?
No, it's just, it's really,
no. I want to hear your
it's
thoughts.
really just more, I mean, like, it's really going to be, I think, fan perspective.
Okay,
obviously, and we'll get into it, but like the season ends with a lot of accusations heading your way.
Yeah.
And I'd love to, and then you and Demi, obviously,
y'all were
very critical of Jen.
Y'all came into season 1 being very close.
Yeah.
And then obviously we have now seen what's going on social media.
Yeah.
Y'all are not close anymore. What was the initial fallout of you and Demi's relationship?
Did season 2 touch on like the contract stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was
which
the first thing. Yeah, which round? That was the first thing. It happened during the summer. Actually before season 1 even aired.
Yeah.
We started negotiating some different contracts as a group, and she basically threw me under the bus because I didn't care to fight for more money, and she wanted an absurd amount of money.
What did that conversation sound like? Like, how did that go?
So
it had all of us on.
So we were all on a call, and keep in mind, this is a call with our lawyer and managers who represent us, so we should be able to say how we feel.
And some of you share managers and lawyers,
yeah,
correct?
Totally.
And like
so they have our best interests
husbands
in
were on.
mind, and we should be able to say like, I want this, and it can differ. Some husbands were on. I was doing a podcast virtually, so I joined the call late. When I joined the call, the first thing I heard is Brett saying, if we don't get this amount, everyone's walking. And I was like, you can't speak for me. So I said that because that's initially what I heard. So I was like, wait. I just want you to know, like, I'm not willing to walk. And he was pissed. And they just were so mad at me. That is the catalyst for everything.
Well, because then there was another call after. Because what happened before, to give it context, we were all like, no one's going to walk, obviously. This is what we were saying before she went on. Like, no one's going to walk, but there's power in numbers.
Yeah.
And so we're all gonna walk. And
I
so
didn't
then
know
Jessi comes on, hears that. She's like, I'm not gonna walk.
And if
then
I
they were
had
like,
that context, of course I would have not said that.
But again, it didn't warrant the reaction.
No, so then she's calling people behind the scenes being like, well, Jessi has no morals and no values.
Well, and
she's
Brett
willing
on the
to
phone after you was like,
he's like,
and then
Jessi,
Brett's
what
response
to me was like,
disgusting.
Jessi, you're willing to walk for pennies and none of us are, and that was gross, and blah, 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 and just kind of like came at me.
Yeah.
And then she's calling everyone behind my back being like, well, if Jessi doesn't, like maybe Jessi doesn't need to be on the show, then let's get her off and we can all get more money.
Demi said that.
Yeah. She was saying that she had no morals, no values.
I'm not going to be a pawn in her hair scheme.
Well, also, like, after we just clearly talked about, there seems to be a line of women in Utah.
Yes,
willing
to do
take
this.
all of your places.
Yeah.
And I think, obviously, the show
I think,
knows
to be
that.
honest, Demi was a fan favorite and it went to her head. And she's like, well, I can make more money
well,
then.
She did only say it.
She said it a million times.
Listen, I think it's really important, obviously, like as reality TV becomes more and more prominent, it gets more and more credibility.
Yeah.
I think you guys deserve, you are stars. You guys deserve to get yours.
For
but like
sure,
when I would have done The Bachelor for free.
Keep in mind, this is before season 1 aired. So I didn't
That's
know what the
crazy.
reaction was going to be.
And they wouldn't show us
my God.
like the background numbers of airing or like anything.
You don't even know if it's a hit yet.
No.
Exactly. Like we knew that it was good because they were wanting to go in so quickly into filming season 2.
Yeah.
And like we knew after the numbers came out too that it was doing really well. But also there was just a line of like, okay, this is absurd and this is way too much money. Like, yes, we deserve more, but this is like, it's not realistic.
Like they were trying to get rich in that moment.
Yes. Without having to work. Like she doesn't want to work like a dog. That's her words. And so
She doesn't want to hustle.
No.
Yeah.
But she wants to be rich. I think that was where it started. And then I think for me, what was hard was after that happened, I didn't know everything she said about me. But then the text messages she sent me during that were like, you need to earn my friendship back. Like, I'm very disappointed in you. Like, kind of put herself on a pedestal above me where I had to like beg for her love is how I felt. And then the hair drama happened. So it was just like one thing after another. And I just kept forgiving her. Like, I was like, I don't want to have another friendship fallout. Like, it's fine. And the friendship fallout inevitably happened because I finally hit a point where after the finale where she like says she's going to walk, it was like that argument in my house. She was mad that I didn't defend her towards Taylor and that I didn't gang up on Taylor. And it was, again, I'm disappointed in you. She sent me this big like breakup text and I was just like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this pattern where I have to beg for your love if I'm not doing exactly what you want. So,
well, even in like the conversation we had where we were like had our little mom talk meeting, and there was the blow up between Taylor and Demi. They were talking about because Demi was like wanting to have a huge finale for season 1, and so she was wanting to make up. She's like, we can make up this whole thing that like I have an affair with Dakota and like this, and so we were like, everyone was like, oh, that's a weird thing to say.
No one wants
and
to make anything
Taylor,
up. What
no,
are you
I know.
doing?
Taylor brought it up in the conversation, and or Demi's like, "Did everyone think that was weird?" And everyone's like, "Yeah, kind of. That was a little bit weird." And she was like, "Really, Jessi? Unbelievable!"
She got so mad at me. I was like,
and so it was like this, the friendship
a lot to
test.
take in. I'm like, I'm a fan of all you women, right? And we've gotten to know Demi, and we've enjoyed her company.
She's very charming.
We like Demi too. Like when our friend, because I got really close to Demi and Jessi and Macy, which I was already, but like we were getting closer to Demi. And then all of this started unraveling, and we still gave not her the benefit of the doubt, but it was just kind of sad to see like, oh, she would do that. And then it kind of just kept progressing. And so we weren't like immediately like, okay, closed off.
No.
It just happened gradually. So it was sad for sure to see that she was willing to do all the things that she did.
Yeah, so she was willing to have the world think that she had an affair with Dakota for television.
Yeah.
Or at least she threw it out there.
No, it was her. She had a whole plan.
Yeah, apparently she had a whole plan.
So it wasn't something she just
hey,
like,
guys, this could
casually,
be funny.
Like,
It was,
Yeah, she's like, oh, we could meet in a car and then like they could catch us. We were
No,
like,
it was like a
what the
plan.
hell? But also, I think it says a lot that there are 7 women who feel the exact same way about her. It's not just me that had issues. Like,
I want to ask you, and I'm not sure how much you women can share. We've obviously interviewed Miranda.
Yeah.
We interviewed her the morning that a lot of you were online in the comments
it was that
between
day.
Marciano
Yeah.
and Demi. Demi was here with Brett, and she made some claims, some very serious claims.
What I'll say is victims should always be believed. I'll say that.
And yeah, I think it's really hard for, again, you have like, I was the victim of sexual abuse, and Demi kind of takes advantage of that in the situations of like guilting us of like, well, you were going through this. Like you out of anyone should believe me.
Yeah.
But also I was there right after the villa, and I heard from her own mouth, I'm not a victim. I was playing into this. Like I was being flirty. I was having a fun time. And that was the story from the beginning. And I was also there to kind of like watch everything too. And you were there too.
This is such a serious subject
Very
that none of
serious.
us would ever do this if we didn't know for sure. Or we didn't have gut feelings and witnessed things, so.
No, yeah. I'm like, especially in my situation where again, I went to my mom and that wasn't believed. So it's not coming lightly that I'm like choosing to be hesitant.
When we talked with Demi and Brett, they certainly gave the impression that they were done with this show.
They always
Specifically
do.
Brett.
Yeah.
Demi seemed pretty in line with Brett. I'm sure you can't tell us. I don't even know if you know for sure what's going on contractually, but like I just want to know your opinions. Do you think Demi and Brett are done with the show and Mom Talk and Secret Lives?
No. Because the minute she gets a taste of like fame and the fun stuff we're doing now, it's like, oh wait, I want to come back. So I think it's just like Whitney,
so whether
they come
she
and go.
does or doesn't come back, you think
Whether she leaves, whether she comes back, she'll always be back. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we met Lana Del Rey the other day, And that was an opportunity we got. And as soon as she saw that, she's like tagging Lana on her story, like, let's do a redo. It's like, then why are you leaving these experiences?
Yeah,
Like,
I think her go-to every time was who's walking with me.
Yeah.
I'm done with the show. So I'm
Yeah.
like, right now, I don't know. I don't think it would surprise me with her coming back because she is so back and forth in that sense too.
Yeah.
I just think like Whitney, they can't stay away.
If she does decide to come back and is allowed back, how will you women approach her given her alleged behavior
Mhm.
and how you women perceive her? Because it's one thing to be Whitney
Yeah.
and not understand how to apologize
Mhm.
or think you are as accountable as the rest of the group when
Mhm.
maybe you might not be.
Yeah.
And then there's everything that's going on with Demi.
Mhm.
How will you women approach that?
I think it is different for me because again, I go back and forth with Whitney with where I'm like, do you truly just not know? Or are you like this calculated? Like, are you as manipulative as you seem? Or do you truly just not know better? With the Demi stuff, it is very, very calculated and very, again, the serious allegations and everything that she's doing with like the contracts. I'm like, I think everyone has seen the character flaws with it and I don't want a friend that's willing to do that to me. So, and I think everyone kind of agrees and has that same opinion with her. I think guards are definitely going to be up 100%. And I don't see myself personally getting close again.
No, and I had ended my friendship with her before all of these allegations. So I already knew that was done for me. And now this has added a bigger, heavier layer. But for me, if she needs to be my coworker, that's fine. I'm not going to go out of my way to mend a friendship, do anything like that. Like I'm for sure done. But if I have to be around her, I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how hard that is?
Yeah, it
because
is.
I think people don't get that I'm like, there is like the real friendships and then there's like the show aspect and we are being forced against our will to hang out with these people. And it's so hard.
Yeah.
If someone like puts y'all in a photo and you're standing next to Whitney, are you like, excuse me?
No, did you guys see
I'm
the photo
fine.
from the Get Real event where we're like, me and Demi are crouched down
I
by
did
each other
see
and there's
that.
like a
Like
big
this
gap
space.
and everyone's like, that's so telling. I'm
No,
like,
it's
yeah.
like the interviews where it's like, who's most likely to? And we're all like, hee hee, like having a point and we're all in a group and it's like,
it's so
it's hard for sure.
Well, switching gears a little bit, Jessi, you have not been wearing your wedding ring.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you can share about your marriage?
I will say that reality TV is hard on any relationship, whether it's a friendship or a marriage. And we've been through a lot and now it's going to be public and we're working through things and we're trying our best, but things are a little tricky right now. And, you know, I'm excited to hopefully someday share more about that. But right now it's it's just real life and it's hard. So yeah, I don't really know.
I have to ask,
say,
and I'm
but-
assuming because I think you guys are filming season 3, and
Yeah.
I know obviously we want to be conscious of spoilers,
Yeah.
but you know, season 2 ended with quite the accusation towards you, and Miranda made it seem like you and Jordan have some real tough conversations ahead. Do you want to clear the air about like you and Marciano and him saying you guys had an affair, or can you what can you, if anything, clear
Yeah.
up right now?
I can't say much, unfortunately. I wish I could, but there is just so much more to the story. And again, relationships are hard and they're nuanced. And there's so much more that I'm excited to share because I think people will be able to relate to my story. And I think it may help people.
Do you think that Jordan is a good role model for the men that your daughter should look for in a
Oh
husband?
my gosh, that is a loaded question. No, I think that there's been a lot that's happened. And I think that he and I are both willing to work on things and change, but maybe he should be asked that question because that might wake him up. But no, I think there's a lot of things that have needed to change.
I've heard some things about him, and I was really disappointed to hear.
Yeah.
I hope they're not true. Clearly, you can't tell me, but your answer to Nally, I think, is revealing.
Yeah.
And I'd love the opportunity to talk with him
Yeah.
about some of the things I have heard if they end up being true, because it's
Yeah.
really quite sad and disappointing. But I'm looking forward to getting
Yeah.
to the bottom of that.
I will say one thing about me is I feel like, unlike Whitney, I'm really good at taking accountability and I own my shit. And I am excited to someday tell the full story and, fall on my sword and take accountability for certain things, but also open up a bigger conversation that I think needs to happen.
I wanted to ask you guys about Jen.
Yeah.
A lot this season, when you and Demi were still close,
Yeah.
a lot of your focus and attention and criticism was towards Jen.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know that Jen left the show and took a mental health absence and is pregnant. So I want to be respectful of that. It's my opinion, watching the show, that while Jen may embellish. Maybe it's like, and there's like the people who just like want to fit in, want to people please, get caught up in the moment. And I'm not saying it's okay. I clearly there needs to be correcting, but that's my
Jen's harmless.
That's my opinion. That's my opinion of Jen, is that she's more or less harmless.
Yeah.
Do you, looking back, regret any of your behavior towards Jen? Because it was pretty harsh.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming you for anything, because there's
totally.
a lot going on in
Yeah.
Jen's life, specifically her relationship with Zach and the pregnancy and just, probably a lot we don't know.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about your behavior with Jen? And do you think it was ever influenced by Demi?
Great question. So again, I can take accountability, and I was harsh for sure. I think I was hearing a lot of things that I was just shocked by. And then Jen was so MIA from the group that it was a lot of jumping to conclusions because she wasn't giving us answers. So I think that's where a lot of it began. And then also, Demi was on a mission at the time to make Jen seem like a liar because Jen knew more about the situation in Italy. So Jen was starting to expose that and say things. And so I think Demi was 10 steps ahead and was like, oh, I need to discredit her now. And if I can discredit her through this avenue and this avenue, it will make her look like a liar all around. So I do think there was a little bit of that. But again, I take accountability that I went hard on Jen on my own accord. And I was very frustrated by all of the lies building up. And then Zach himself telling us, like, that's a lie. Like, she didn't say that. I was like, what? So I think I was honestly getting caught up in the drama of it all. And looking back now, I'm like, okay, I was probably a little hard on her.
Thoughts? Agree? Disagree?
I don't know what's going to be shown. I mean, I lived it, and I'm like, I don't know what I should say. I'm trying to tread very lightly.
Say your truth, and we'll make sure you're protected in the back end.
What are your thoughts and feelings on Jen and Zach?
Yeah, I mean, the little white lies. I had friends in school like that.
No, like the friend who like had a dad who like worked in China and like had a mansion. I had a sleepover once with a guy who had all the baseball cards. Like,
No, like I
you're like,
don't
that's
get
amazing.
those
that's amazing. And I was like, when
Yes.
can I see him? He's like, no, they're not this house. They're in our house in Hawaii. And
I
I'm
mean,
like, oh.
I don't get it.
Yeah, that happens. That was Jen probably.
Like I said, like it is so hard. It's so much filming. Like we do so much
Yeah.
filming. It's so many hours. And so again, it's hard not to be frustrated when people aren't showing up. And then on the back end, they're like trying to ruin your life or make up lies to ruin your life. I feel like it's so frustrating. And then just like those little weird lies about like Ben Affleck and like things like that. I'm like,
Oh, I think
For
the
what?
biggest
Huge
we
bit.
can never
I'm
get
like,
a straight
for what?
answer.
Season
That's I think what's
one.
frustrating is we can never get a clear answer. to
it's
the lie.
very
It's like-
fresh. I just did more press and it's like not doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down. And I'm like, I'm trying to keep my mouth shut because I don't know what to
the
say.
whole like, it's like I want to give her a pass, but even when she owns up to it, she's like
talking in circles.
She kind of leans into how unserious she is.
Yes, totally.
But it's like if you're, it's like how innocent are you? I
Yeah.
have not. I
and
haven't
then
figured
Zach's
out Jen.
the opposite, where he's like
very serious.
Yeah, very serious. So it's really funny. Yeah.
Speaking of Zach, he was if Whitney was villain number one, he was villain number two in season one. And at least from what I saw season two, I'm not saying he completely redeemed himself, and I'm not saying he's like a completely changed man, but I saw a lot of growth.
Oh,
and I saw a lot of at least intention to like
we didn't see him that
try
hear that.
to be a better person, at least
I'm
for
trying to
his
go back
wife.
to my media training call. I'm like,
Like, what was I supposed to say again?
And I'm just wondering
Yeah.
if what I saw is what you all witnessed.
So the weird, I don't know. Okay, so the weird thing is we didn't see Zach a ton. I think
Not
I
at
saw
all.
him at my talk with him and then the Halloween party.
Okay.
So a lot of their stuff was like probably alone. And so I can't speak to that, but I will say I know he was trying and he was working on things and I'm proud for that.
I would say his one-on-one stuff with Jen, if season one looked like Zach was a deadbeat husband who never really gave a shit about his wife's emotional well-being, health, anything, all of the above, he really seemed like a present husband who more than anything wanted to be there for his wife. That I was really impressed, and I appreciated that. Again, I'm sure he has a long way to go.
But everyone deserves a second chance to like undo their wrongs.
yeah.
Michaela, who is your favorite husband? You cannot say Jacob.
Oh, damn, she knows.
How many? Who's even? I'm like,
Who's
that's like
left?
how many
Or
husbands are there?
significant others, not husbands.
God, that's kind of.
I think I know who you're going to say and it's kind of funny.
Who is it? Oh, Connor.
Yep.
I love Connor.
Connor's the best.
Everyone loves Connor. Like
He
he's
seems
so
sweet.
he
He's
is
a good
so
guy.
great and so logical. Yeah, I
Do
think
you-
he's like Whitney's right side of her brain. Truly, like he
Yeah,
is
keeps her
so.
together. He keeps her grounded.
He does. He's
As much as he
very,
can.
and he's just so. He's not very. He's emotional, but not in his. He doesn't like act out of emotions. He's just very caring and
Yeah.
he's logical and just he's great.
Do you think he sees what you see in Whitney?
Probably. I think everyone sees it. I just think he handles it with more grace and compassion.
Sure. Well,
Because he's
protecting
married to
heart,
her.
yeah.
I wouldn't want to piss her off if I had to live with her.
Mikayla, how is your health these days?
It's doing great.
You look beautiful. You look
Thank
very
you.
glowing.
Yeah, it's been a lot better. I think the less I've done, the better it's gotten, which is really ironic because I really put my heart and soul into it for like years and years and years with no progress. So yeah, I'm like
Do you
hopefully
feel like the pregnancy in some ways? I mean, my mom had 11 kids, and
Oh,
my mom also had a variety of different health
yeah.
struggles. And there seemed to be time, maybe it was just, the belief in something.
Yeah.
But it really seemed like sometimes her pregnancies was almost something that healed her. And
it totally is a thing. Like I've looked up a lot of that with like autoimmune stuff. I don't know what was going on with my health issues. I still never got answers of what was going on. But I've heard like people with eczema and all this stuff, they get pregnant and it goes away. So I was like very strong. I'm like, hopefully this baby heals me, which people had an issue with that for some reason.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Oh,
I got like so much shit for that. Yeah, they're like, that's so much heat to put on a baby. I was like, okay.
It is shocking though. It's like,
It'll be okay.
you would think that when it comes to pregnancy and women, there would be a lot of
grace
and unity but
People are
it really
crazy.
seems that people are whatever they
Yes,
do
they're
not give
critical.
an opinion that doesn't align with
I
someone
know,
else
it's
online, 'cause you will
wild.
hear about it.
Yes.
But no, I do think pregnancy has helped a lot. And then again, like I said, working through trauma, I've been learning a lot through like how trauma stored in your body and like unraveling all of that. And I think, I've seen the most healing in the last 9 months to a year. Just going to therapy.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Healing
not
the
on
inner.
medication. Yeah, healing the inner.
From the inside out.
Yeah,
That's what I've been telling Jessie too. I'm like, you need to
She's like, that's
work
why
on
you
yourself.
had issues with your thyroid. That's why you're so
fucked
sick.
up.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm like, okay, I'll take a lesson out of her book.
We do have a fun little game
Okay.
we want to play. It's
a treat box.
some superlatives, some Mormon Wives superlatives.
Mormon Wives superlatives.
Love it.
Woo.
Obviously you haven't seen the show, but off
This isn't
of
about
your
the show.
memory,
This is about your
Just our
this
life.
Is, this
just
is
your,
life.
your
Okay,
yeah,
good.
your genuine opinion of
Okay.
these people.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's now time for
my
Mormon
God.
Wives superlatives.
That was
I'm like,
perfect.
Brought to you by.
Oh my god. Okay.
Don't text your ex happy birthday.
Yeah, there you go. Sponsored by.
Okay. Most toxic couple.
Oh God.
In the group.
Mm-hmm.
One at a time.
Taylor and Dakota.
Jessie.
Take it away, Jessie.
Taylor and Dakota?
Yeah.
Oh, I do have a question for you
Yeah.
about them. You can do you hope they get back together?
No, not as of right now.
And
That's
Ever.
it.
I just
Never.
think ever.
Wow.
Never, ever.
Yeah.
Is
I
that
love
more
them
because
both
you
as
don't-
people. Like I think they're both amazing
Okay.
people. I think together they just can't. They're in a toxic cycle that will just never end.
Okay.
And we see too much.
That makes
Yeah,
me
we
sad.
know.
I've seen too
More.
much, heard too much.
Okay. Who is most
Wait,
like
you didn't answer.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Taylor and Dakota.
Okay,
Sure.
yeah.
I don't even think that. Yeah.
Okay.
Who is most likely to beauty filter their photos?
Oh,
Demi.
yeah. Demi always has a filter.
Yeah.
Who's most likely to sneak in a fart and blame someone else?
Whitney.
Yes.
Yeah.
She would
Or
never.
actually,
She would
honestly,
never
has
take
no
accountability for that
intention.
part.
So true.
Most likely to have lied this season.
Jen.
Y'all are
Most
kinda-
likely
y'all are-
to win an Oscar.
Not
What,
Whitney.
no, say what you said about her.
No.
Remember when
Not
no,
Whitney.
Mikayla said,
Crazy.
and for the second time in a row, her award
For her
winning role is
leading
the
role.
victim.
Her leading role is the victim. Second season in a row.
But let's not hype her acting
Going on
career
third.
that much.
Best dressed.
Ooh, probably Jessie or Layla or
Ooh.
Miranda.
I was gonna say Miranda or Layla.
Yeah.
Worst dress.
Whitney.
Probably me or Taylor.
Not you.
Well, are we talking season 2?
I'm talking in real life.
Life.
Whitney.
Yeah, like when you see him
Oh.
at the grocery store, you see him at a coffee shop.
Whitney
you
guys,
get
I-
together.
I'm pretty
yesterday.
grungy. What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like just a bra with a blazer over it. I was like,
Slay.
what the?
Just kidding.
Slay.
I love that for her.
Slay.
It's the nicest thing you've
Oh,
ever
yeah,
said about her.
Person who thinks they're a good cook but isn't.
Probably
Oh.
Jessie. Just kidding. No, I think you know.
No, you were at my house and I hadn't even turned
She
on my
lived in her
oven
house
yet.
for like 6 months. I was like, how do you turn your oven on? She's like, I've never used it. I was like, okay.
It's giving Carrie Bradshaw.
No, actually.
What about
It's
you,
giving
Jessie?
DoorDash.
What do you think?
Or no, I'm going to say Taylor.
PB&J.
I'm me, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Who is most likely to get canceled?
Ooh. Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor, just because she's so like, I don't give a fuck. Like, she's so controversial at times. But also, people love her. Her audience loves her. So
because she doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly. They can see through it. So, or like they see the like genuine.
Do you think Taylor is the one who really doesn't give the fuck in the most authentic way of the group?
Yeah, I think everyone doesn't, but I think I just keep going back to the CMA post when she was like, "It was just Penny. I don't care.
I don't care."
And we're like, okay.
But honestly, she owned it. So it's like, how do you stay mad at her?
Yeah.
But I was talking to her the other day about hate and how she deals with it. And she's like, I go like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. Like she is herself.
Most likely to steal a baby name.
Ooh.
Especially with
this going on. Imagine you guys like
steal
have
a
the same
baby
names.
name.
I don't know why I want to say Jen.
I want to say, oh, no, I see that.
I don't know
Jen.
why.
Have y'all shared like names you're thinking?
I
or
have
is that
zero
zero names, and same with Macy.
Send me all your ideas. I have 0 names.
No, we were joking with Jen. We're like, you should name your baby Ben.
Yeah, I was like, Ben.
Literally. Wait, what are your other 2 names?
For my
Don't you have
kids?
2?
I have 3.
You have 3?
Beckham, Haven, and Tommy. So I have my little girl Tommy and Haven, and then Beckham's my one boy.
Most likely to pick their nose in public.
Whitney.
Yeah.
I think that's it on superlatives. We kind of,
That was quick.
That was so quick.
Oh gosh, that is funny.
Well, ladies, thank you for coming by.
Yeah.
Good luck. Hopefully, season 3. Hopefully, I'll see you soon. Everyone watching, if you haven't already, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is now streaming on Hulu. All 10 episodes.
Yeah.
I think it's an absolute doozy. Jessi, good luck.
Thanks.
I know there's a lot to unpack
I'm going into hiding, but thank you.
And I want to be respectful to you. I feel like I'm not doing my job pulling it out of you, but I feel like there's more to
We'll circle
more
back.
to come.
Yeah.
We'll circle back. Mikayla, it's so great to see you. So great to see you doing so well. Congratulations with the baby, everything that's going on in your life. Really so happy for you and Jace.
Thank you.
And thanks for stopping by.
Thanks,
and I
Matt.
can't wait to
Thanks
see
for
you guys
having
more
us
in the future.
again.
Yeah, it's going to be perfect.
Thanks for listening. Thank you to our guests, Chloe Veitch, Mikayla, and Jessi from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Don't forget, it is streaming now, all episodes on Hulu. Check it out. We'll see you back tomorrow for a dark, crazy episode of Going Deeper. From Michelle, formerly Michelle Lolly of the Valley, talking about her ex-husband, Jesse Lolly. That is tomorrow, and it's very Lifetime movie. See you then. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.